All right, we're pouring out the shots
So we're gonna flip a coin to see who does it.
for our final category. Buckle the front door. Ladies and gentlemen, it is game of the effing year 2019. We've been doing lists of 3 previously.
I had a tall one, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. We're working on the shots. We have so many team members working. We got the gaffers with lighting. It's the shot pouring shots. We do a top 5 for game of the year, which in years past this has been where traditionally the show filibusters for.
We're in the best shape we've ever been in.
We are in the best shape that we've ever been in.
Feeling good.
It's all right. All right.
Buckle up. Sometimes this part gets long.
I have and I'm just gonna leave this out there. I have a closed Bud Light and a knife.
Yes.
Oh shit!
I am at.
I'm just gonna leave these right here
6
for
out
when
of 10.
things get
Yeah,
there.
we're also we're planning on playing some Jackbox games right after
Yeah.
this. So.
Got some Jackbox. I think I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling good. This is the best, like we say, the best shape I feel we've ever been in for the game of the year proper discussion.
Definitely. In years that I've been here.
Let us not try and kill each other. And let us decide the
So
GOTY.
reasonable discussion.
Yes.
To not ruining it.
To be blocked.
I drink none of
In
those
memoriam
things.
of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, Red Dead Redemption.
Yes. Let us pour one out for Red Dead and Tetris Effect, which
Smooth. Before their time.
Honestly, my favorite part of us taking a shot of Fireball is just being able to see Kev right across me and react to it
Every time.
Every time.
hot. It's hot Fireball at this point, like it should be.
You know, it's the guys who struggle with it the most that are actually the biggest heroes for doing it.
That's right.
They got a battle
At
book.
least it's not Sambuca.
Oh,
There would be a zero.
Next year,
no,
baby.
We had mint juleps
done.
one
that
year
was my
too.
first
Never
year
again.
with Sambuca, wasn't it?
No.
Did we ever do some Buka?
No, there's no
Yeah,
way.
That's
There's no way.
madness.
Oh, Jaeger was my first year, I think.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Remember we did the
some
mint
grappa?
juleps and fucked them up.
At Chris's
There are
house.
2 bottles at my work waiting to be claimed.
Was the Jagger the year that OJ passed out and you mic'd him up?
No, it was a year
That was the year Brandon took his shirt
it might
off
have been.
off.
and played Destiny till.
Oh, yeah, because that was back at
Yeah,
Chris's.
that was a different year. Max
that
was
was
here.
here.
That was here.
But yeah,
But
OJ
the
fell
shirt
asleep
off
on
was
my-
it?
I think mint juleps. I wasn't
Never
here.
done
I
a year
was
under Christmas.
remote.
No, yeah,
I
you
think,
were
right?
over
Or
the
was
internet.
I was. Yeah.
I thought for
I
which
think I was
service? Mint
remote.
Juleps was remote. Yeah, I
that
think
was
you're
over
right.
the
Yeah,
internet
that
because
was.
I was at Chris's place.
Because I remember being.
We've been doing this for over 10 years now, which is fucking
It's
wild,
fucking crazy.
yo.
We're old.
We are so fucking old. And we love getting together to yell about video games.
And this is going to be the yelliest part.
Buckle the fuck up. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game of the year.
We can
Let's
do this.
The nominees. Walking Dead Season 4.
Cut it.
Apex Legends.
Cut it.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Cut it.
Stop it. Devil May Cry 5. Outer Wilds. Baba Is You.
What's that?
Oh,
Fucking
new challenger.
Resident Evil 2 Remake. Tetris 99. Void Bastards. Cadence of Hyrule. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Super Mario Maker 2. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Dark Anthologies Man of Medan. Control. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. The Outer Worlds. Luigi's Mansion 3. Death Stranding. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Sekiro.
Shout us that twice.
Shadows Die Twice. Pokemon Sword. And or Pokemon Shield.
Can only be one.
Slay the Spire.
No.
You had a real Christopher Walken at one point there.
Where is it?
The Outer Worlds. Come on.
Hey,
I was so
Crazy.
nervous going down this list that you were going to say something. We're like, oh fuck, that's the best looking game of the year. We didn't even talk about it.
All right.
So I guess we'll start at the top.
Oh. Oh.
Start it up, Eats.
Listen, I love Walking Dead, but come on, guys, it doesn't need
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
probably
that's-
not GOTY.
Game of the year.
It's
I don't
probably not a
know.
game of the
Okay,
year.
that's an easy one.
It does everything right, except inherently the category or the part we never talk about through all these other awards is the gameplay. And Walking Dead has never had good
Yeah,
gameplay.
That's right.
No, it's
Yeah,
always
this,
been kind of
this
weird.
is kind of the category to
Yep.
Talk about
everything that
gameplay.
has, well, really everything that hasn't been talked about previously.
Because there's another one that we have not talked about hardly at all coming up here, Apex Legends,
Oh, I was gonna say,
Which-
is it Kingdom Hearts 3?
which is 100% should stay on this list, despite us almost not talking about it at all
Yeah,
throughout this awards.
I'd like to make it pass first pass here.
I do not care for Battle Royales at all. I totally agree Apex should be on this list.
Yes, Apex is, for me, the best Battle Royale
Yeah.
that I have ever played.
Bryce, Kingdom Hearts 3?
Nope.
Yeah.
The gummy ship battles are the best part of it. Can we just highlight
What?
that?
Whoa.
That's actually.
You can't.
Hang on. You're telling
You've got
me.
it. You can't on the field.
No, I've never played Kingdom Hearts 3. The gummy ships in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are the worst shit. I would rather
worst.
die than
It is-
do more gummy ships.
It is now the best part of the game.
So Bryce, okay, so we have to start the discussion somewhere, and we're going to start it with: did they really improve it, or did the rest of the game fall below?
The rest of the game did.
Where it becomes like, oh God, something familiar.
Thank God I know this.
Pretty much, yeah. It's impossible to customize your own gummy still, but they give you blueprints, so you just copy paste.
Do you think Kingdom Hearts will make it on this list?
No.
I'm a proud member of the Kingdom Hearts fandom, and there's just no way.
Murder
It's a top 5.
Good. I heard Donald was the most powerful mage in the universe now.
Absolutely.
That
So
makes
I think that's like
sense.
it's canon now.
It's Giga something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Giga Flare.
Giga
Devil May Cry 5, excellent entry in the Devil May Cry series, but it doesn't shine above
I did
the
not finish
rest,
it.
I think. Outer Wilds should
I happen to
absolutely
think
stay on this
that's a
list.
fun video game.
It's gonna have to stay.
That'll stay for now, for sure. Yeah.
Baba Is You.
Yes, I'd like to talk about Bob Is You. This is the only place it's going to get recognized. It is on my top 10. It is a very high-level thinking puzzle game where you are basically... I think I've talked about it
This
on
is
the
that
pod.
word game, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know about
where
this.
while you're moving around this kind of grid base, like a top-down Zelda...
Oh, words, eh? written English. Fuck off.
And that's the thing. I've only heard tell about this game, and I'm like, this makes any sense.
words.
you
Fucking words.
smart.
All right, talk about it, and I will poo-poo.
This is the Zelda for this year because of words.
It is a game where basically, like, picture yourself. So Baba is just a funny name for a sheep. The sheep's name is Baba.
Yeah.
Black sheep.
And the game is called Baba Is You because there's basically a bit of code that takes up 3 tiles on the tile set. One is Baba, one is one is you.
Also,
Yes.
a ewe, I believe, is a female sheep.
Also, funny, good high level stuff.
Thank you.
You're thinking
Thank
Baba
you.
Is You.
Thank you.
Fucking
So-
words on these guys.
So basically, so you could be in a situation where, let's say, you're in, you're surrounded by walls. They might put a bunch of walls up, and it would say somewhere, because everything on the board is coded somewhere. It would say wall is stop. So you run into the wall, you stop.
Yep.
Which makes sense. But you can move around as Baba and push those bits of code around. So it would be like. If you moved the stop off of wall is and wall was just nothing, all of a sudden you can just walk through the wall. It's still there visually, but you can just go through it. And then maybe you push in key, so it's wall is key, and then all the wall spaces turn into keys, and then you could say key is win, go touch one of the keys, and you win. It is a moving around, pushing stuff around puzzle game. But you're very much affecting the world around you by changing the blank is blank or the blank and blank is blank. It is fascinating. It hurts my head. It's one of the hardest puzzle games I've ever played. It is on my top 10 list. I don't think it'll get any play for the actual top 5 list, but
I think it might. Let's not.
Okay,
I've only played a few
leave it.
levels,
Okay.
and have not got all the way through.
How do you feel about the levels you played?
Admittedly, it got hard for me in a way that I'm like, I'm not
In the way-
maybe smart enough for
The
this.
way you first.
but
How did you first describe it? The very first thing you said. You said like very challenging mind puzzle.
yeah.
Sounded very elitist. Like
Yeah.
you must be of a certain intelligence in order to enjoy this video
I stared right
Mensa.
down my nose at Oliver when I said that.
game. You must know words.
It's
Word puzzle game.
it's so unique. It is so unique, and it executes so well.
Yeah.
And it is super fun.
Its greatest hurdle is its difficulty.
Yes.
Because I will tell you right now, I think there's like, I don't know how many worlds there are, but I'm only on world like 3. And there's like maybe 10 puzzles in a world. And it fucking ramps up quick.
Yeah.
The on-ramping is actually really good. It's really smart in terms of it never gives you, hey, this is how you play this game. It just puts you in situations where the only way to figure it out is to solve. Like, they'll put you in a tiny box.
Yep.
Where all you can do is move this little bit of code around. So it basically teaches you that way, where it's like, well, it has something to do with these 3 words. And then you figure out, like, oh, as soon as you take the stop out of wall is stop, you can walk through the wall. It's very fun.
I think we should at least leave it for first
It
place.
stays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let me ask you if Baba Is You is going to be on there. Something just popped in my head. I don't know how many people, or if any, have played it. I think you guys talked about it a little bit, but have you played Superliminal?
I've not.
did
That's
not.
the perspective one, right? That's the
Yeah.
like really crazy, like
Really
small
good game. It's not going to win GOTY, but I
big
think it's least worst.
I played it
A
through.
mention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
it's one of
like-
those games where it's kind of marrying like Portal and what's the other one where you play? It's the narrator. It's like the British narrator. and
Stanley's Parable.
Yeah, those two games kind of
Speaking
together.
of a language.
Did
Yeah.
you play through Superliminal?
Yeah, all the way
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Did
That was
you
a-
also played Super
Yeah, I
Mario,
did.
right? Should
that be on
we
here?
put it on the list for GOTY Talk? What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
Put it
It's not
on
going to win
cut.
GOTY, but I think
It's very
definitely
unique and it's
super unique.
what
yeah.
Honor to
it
get
does.
If you don't think it's gonna hang, and like put it on, take it off. Honor to be mentioned.
Would've
as
been a
always.
good
Yeah, I would
game.
mention it at least in the case of just like if you're looking at the games that released this year that were unique
best
and
games, yeah.
worth checking out.
Yeah.
Superliminal should be on
Yeah,
your list
for
to check
sure.
out,
Yeah.
especially because it's not like a huge investment of time.
No,
you could
not
probably
at all.
beat it in 2.5, maybe 3
Yeah.
hours. But the biggest thing that's like fucking amazing in that game is just understanding your manipulation of perspective
Yes.
and how that manifests in things. Like I could look at that can, pick it up far away, and then look at it in a perspective where it looks a lot bigger from my perspective, and it becomes that size. And you use that throughout the whole length of the game to solve puzzles and stuff. And it doesn't just go for that. Like say there's a model house that's really tiny, and it's like, oh shit, I can see that there's a door there that I should be able to go through. It's not big enough, so I'm going to make it bigger through perspective and then walk through it. And then it's just like a house within a house. Kind of, it just fucks with reality
That
within
actually sounds
reality.
like very much my jam.
is, yeah.
You
So
should
I
check it
maybe
out.
Check that out.
I guarantee you, if you guys all played it, you'd be like, "Let's talk about Superliminal," because it is a very good game. It's definitely worth at least mentioning.
Yeah.
Similarly, just put it on, take it off. Remnant from the Ashes, I think is the
Yes.
full name. Is a kind of 3-player sort of co-op,
Soulsy.
yeah,
Yeah.
third-person shooter, Dark Souls.
Definitely
game.
worth talking about too.
It is. It doesn't stand out anywhere. It's not exceptional in any one thing, but it is a great package. And if you dig either co-op games or Dark Souls games,
Yeah.
I played it co-op and had a great time. I played it by myself and had a tremendous time as
We
well.
played it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I would really recommend it. It's not going to hang here, but Remnant from the Ashes, worst name in video games.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
Is there a colon in there?
really good game. Yep, Remnant colon
Okay.
from the Ashes.
But while we're talking about games that won't be on this list, the latest installment of NHL, very good this year as well.
NHL 20.
Yep.
People laugh, but I've actually heard that NHL
Yes,
this year
it
is
is
quite
a
good.
Significantly better than it has
Notable
been in like the
step.
last 5 to 6 years.
Every 10 years, it's
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
And
That's
this is
really
totally
good
the time for games that people played that
It's got
this was
Snoop in it.
cool. And,
It's got Snoop in it.
Oh,
It's
he's
got
a
best use
G.
of Snoop.
He's got a fucking G
And
instead
also
of a
does
C
commentary on games.
for Snoop.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they scored.
Oh shit, they scored.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Like even the way they
crazy.
even the way they play into Snoop, where it's just like it's all broadcast presentation, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's heading off the ice. You just finished the first period and be like, and coming up in the second period, Snoop Dogg's joining us, and then you like come out and Snoop's all ready to go. He's sitting
Best
in the booth.
thing is like the I've already heard like all of the dialogue at this
Right.
point because I play it so much. One of the things I always ask him is like, okay, Snoop, if you were in charge of like the NHL, what would you do? And he'd go, I'm all about presentation. And he's like, I would have a big show at the halftime. And I'm like, Snoop, there's only 3 periods. there's no halftime, Snoop. You're trying, so we'll give you that, I guess.
And then every now and then he'll just like commentator. You're so used to hearing commentators call every player by name, and then you'll just hear Snoop yell like, "Good save, goalie!"
He used a stick.
What a play by
Damn.
that guy.
Yeah. It's actually
Yes.
hilarious. Maybe he should have been in consideration for best moment whenever Snoop came out.
Anytime Snoop cameos, be it Modern
Oh, man.
Warfare or Call of Duty, or
Yeah.
NHL.
Consistently great.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
He swung through, what was the last? He did the MMA, the UFC game.
Mm-hmm.
Also the best part of that game.
Yep.
So Baba's You hangs.
Probably just
Yes.
hangs.
Resident Evil 2 Remake, I think
Stays.
absolutely hangs.
We don't even need to talk about that right now.
Tetris 99.
That game is fucking great.
Yes, remember when Tetris 99 came out and we all went, I guess they made a fucking, what if 100 Tetraminos dropped them to an island?
Yep.
Lol.
Remember last year when we said we got to get fucking Tetris Effect on this list because when's the next time we're going to get another good Tetris?
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's
yeah.
actually
Turns out 100-player Tetris Battle Royale is fucking dope.
Unreal.
Addicting as shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
I one of the few games I enjoy watching more than actually playing.
Yep.
I'm so bad at Tetris I didn't even
I
try
know,
it.
so am I.
I'm not very good either, and
Yeah.
it doesn't help that I usually only play it in the evenings when you're at a distinct advantage because of time zones.
Yes. When
Where-
the Japanese wake up, if you are facing people with Japanese characters in their names, like you,
Legitimately,
Good luck.
That's,
Good
yeah,
luck, buddy.
it's
Like,
game
you
over.
kinda
Top
say
50
that.
if you're lucky.
You kind of say that, and then it's like, that's funny. Yeah,
no,
Japanese
big-
people are good.
big
And then
difference.
I will play a game where I come in 30th, and it's like, well, I beat 70 people with American and Canadian names or English names, and lost to 29 people, all with Japanese characters in their names.
Tetris, huge, it turns out, in Japan.
Yes.
Do we think it hangs for GOTY? This is a thing you can only get with Nintendo Switch Online.
No, I don't think so.
But it's free with it. I think there's like a $20 DLC for
I
single
don't think
player
so.
now.
Tetris Effect needs its comeuppance, though, you guys.
But this is not Tetris Effect.
No,
at
it's
all.
not. But
I
still,
think
Tetris.
this game is better than Bob Is You.
I
Let
would
me
like
tell you
to
that
just-
Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't even make the fucking list.
Red Dead came out on PC. I hear
It did. Came out on PC.
I was thinking the same thing.
Comeuppance.
I would like to,
Put
for
it
the
on the
first
list.
pass, let's leave Tetris 99 on here. For the first pass.
Sure.
All right,
Sure.
all
We can
right,
talk
all
about
right.
it more later.
That's fine.
Void Bastards.
This seems like a kind of game that we could save some time cut right now.
I've played a lot of. Well, not a lot. I've played
Yeah.
maybe 6 hours of Void Bastards.
Me too.
Void Bastards is also
It's cool.
a
I haven't played any, but I've
pretty
seen
good
people
game.
play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. I can see the value.
It's very stylized.
It's pretty unique.
It did not. It did not.
The voice
stick with
acting
me
is
at all.
moi. That's
Yeah.
a chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give
very
you that.
There's a lot of Scottish people running around cursing at you.
Cadence of Hyrule.
Is Void Bastards first cut?
Void Bastards
No.
is no.
Oh no, there's lots of cuts up there. Sorry.
Fifth cut?
Cadence of Hyrule here. How do we? It is
Yeah.
kind of more Crypt of the Necrodancer. It has the Zelda skin and the
Yeah.
Zelda
Yeah.
music,
Yeah.
which I think is real dope.
So I could not get into Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Neither could I actually.
And then I played this game, fucking loved it, fell in love with it, and then actually went back and started playing Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Me too.
Yeah, and I was like, Crypt of the Necrodancer is actually really fucking good. I don't want to see this go yet. This is higher on my list than Bob Is You, is higher on my list than Tetris
Well, then that
99.
means get rid of Baba's You, does it not?
Well, I said
That's
that
not
first.
necessarily.
We just got to stay.
Let's keep it for now, but keep in mind it is very, very, very much a Crypt of the Necrodancer game
Yes.
with the Zelda skin.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not cutting anything on my top 10 on the first pass.
Hell yeah.
So,
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
You know
not
Baba's
cutting
You is
anything
coming.
on my top 10 on the first pass.
You know.
Super Mario Maker 2. I feel like we have a discussion to have. Fire Emblem, we're going to talk about. Anthology's Man of Medan, I feel pretty confident.
Just get
a
rid
lot
of
of
it.
us have played that, and
It's
we can.
fine.
It's a fine package.
It's worth
fun.
mentioning as a game that's a little bit of a standout for this year.
Yeah.
If you can find it for relatively cheap, I would recommend playing it. It's worth a play.
The unique co-op thing where you have different perspectives but are
Yeah,
playing
I think
simultaneously is incredible.
That is the best way to play the game,
Totally.
in my opinion. Have people playing co-op. You're seeing one thing and you're communicating. Everything's kind of fucked up as far as perspectives and stuff. Play it that way.
It's very strange. I look forward to what they do next.
Yeah.
Control, well, I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yep.
Link's Awakening, do we feel like Link's Awakening hangs on the GOTY list?
Not my Zelda game for this fight.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I like to hear. Modern Warfare, we'll probably talk about.
I think that's probably got to hang a little
Yep.
bit. Yeah.
Outer Worlds. This is
I'm
a
really fine getting rid
Fallout
of it.
game.
Honestly,
I can cut it.
Yeah,
So could I.
this is...
It was an important game that released, because we were all interested in seeing what a space Fallout was like.
Super
We've seen what
interested
they
in
did
seeing
with
that.
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break my one rule for this one.
You're going to kill someone here in the studio.
With a baby carrot.
Yeah,
It's like Batman.
You going to bat for it?
One
well,
rule
no, I'm just saying,
I
like,
will never kill.
The Outer Worlds is on my top 10 list.
Okay.
I kind of knew coming in that it's not in my top 5.
Yeah.
And if it's not in my top 5, and I probably liked it more than anyone here at the table, then there's no point in it.
I actually really enjoyed it too, but then
Yeah.
it just fell off so hard.
It feels
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
front
it
loaded.
does, yeah.
Very, very front loaded.
It sucks that the best stuff's at the front.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the best stuff is still really good, which is why it's on my list. But yeah, I can see it going. It's not my outer game in this fight.
Zelda and Outer.
Yeah.
Luigi mentioned 3. Does anybody feel like making a passionate argument? It's a great Nintendo product.
It's a solid game.
has the seal of approval.
It's so weird when it comes to these Nintendo's long established franchises where they come out with another iteration of it. And it's like,
It's
yeah,
good.
it's a pretty good game. I enjoy that game.
Like they never. It just feels like it's like like perfect. Perfect is the wrong word because
It's not perfect.
it could be a better game, but in terms of all the like window dressing around it, you're like, oh, they fucking nail this. They nail it every single time I play a Nintendo game, a first party Nintendo game.
If you guys want to leave it on just for the sake of being like, hey, some respect to it, fine. But also, I'm cool being like, listen, it's not going to win GOTY. We can
Honor
get
to
rid
be
of it.
nominated. Honor to be nominated.
It was on my list.
You know what? They don't put Mario Party online, so fuck you, Nintendo. Here we go. This is your come up.
If
I
we-
mean, listen, if we're going to start talking about online, so well, we will once Super Mario Maker 2
no, this
comes
is
out.
between me and Nintendo.
Before we take Death Stranding off this list,
Whoa,
Not taking
what?
Death Stranding off this list. That is a
I have another one to
presumptuous.
put on takeoff. Dota Underlords came out this year and is probably my favorite auto battler. I think it's the best auto battler. I realize I cannot talk everyone around to that, but hell of a game.
Honor to be mentioned.
Let's get Death Stranding off this list. I think
No,
Death Stranding.
I told you at the top of this list. I actually really love this game.
How much of Death Stranding did you play?
All of it.
You're lying.
Am I?
Yes.
Yeah,
How does it end? Yeah. No.
Guess you're
Am I? Only am I? I was like,
You caught me.
shit.
Yeah. No.
I was hoping you'd be like, oh shit.
I don't know. I must have had a good poker face because
Yeah.
I felt the terror. And I was like, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. And then
This
you.
is a fucking problem.
Thankfully, you backed down.
You played the man. You played
kill
the
it.
man.
I want to. Let's give it its due. Let's give it its due.
There's dude, this game
no,
sucks. You
Yeah,
guys.
we got to say right now, with whatever we're doing with Death Stranding, the most talked about game of the year in terms of us leading up and in terms of our
yeah.
little
Yeah.
spiral downward afterwards.
yeah.
It's a game that defines this podcast in a very terrible way.
We are huge Kojima fans,
yeah.
huge Metal
Yeah.
Gear fans.
That's a first sweet cut, is what that is.
It was in every
Yes.
single category.
yeah?
maybe.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah,
close.
and that-
Initially.
Much like Red Dead, an apt comparable. No.
Thus, it should be cut.
To be fair, wasn't
Red
Death
Dead
Stranding
was
also like in fucking pretty much every or most categories of the Game Awards as well? Didn't they win a fuck ton too?
Yeah,
It only
That's-
won one.
that's-
It only won one. It only
No,
won
but it
one.
was in. But it was in a lot of them.
That's
Because
Jeff
the thing-
Keighley, Hideo Kojima like circle
It,
jerk, though.
yeah, okay.
Well, and
yeah, for
also
sure.
like the things around, like as much as I'm joking with Red Dead 2, which is a million times better game than Death Stranding, it very much had that same feel where it's like all the pieces
Oh, yeah.
are fucking good, they
yeah.
just don't fit together.
There's another universe where we didn't
Yeah.
like Red Dead,
Yeah.
and think of it like we think about Death Stranding,
Right,
Sure.
Where
Like,
it's like
I totally get it. Where people are like, "This game is slow,"
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yep.
It came
"I
out.
like Red Dead 2, and that's slow."
It was significant enough for us to talk about it, at least
Totally.
Yeah.
in as much as we have.
Yes.
You know?
And
it
there's
has
a
a
part
very-
of me that is happy I put in the time and saw it so that I'd never wonder.
In the immortal words of Woody, so long, partner. Kill it.
He said that to Zane at work.
You know what?
I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it. I
Do
just
it.
would like
Just
to
get it out
say the novelty is very strong. Everything you do in
Yeah.
Death Stranding for the first time, you're like, "Oh my goodness, this is actually kind of fun." Organizing
Yeah.
my packages, this is weird and novel.
As a bit of moratorium on this, if as Hideo as a game creator, as you all love him and enjoy the games, has this affected your view towards him and other potential future
Yes.
products
Yes.
coming from him?
It's made me wonder
This
if
has actually made me like Metal Gear less.
yes.
As a whole.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
It honestly, it honestly has.
Fucked up.
I think I'd have to play Metal Gear again. It's definitely made me question if Metal Gear is as good as I remember it
Totally.
being.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll agree to
Like,
that.
for
I'll
sure.
agree to that.
It made me realize that Metal Gear is the exact same fucking bullshit word salad.
Yeah.
But it just hit with me in a way because
I
it was
changed.
cool
Yeah.
samurai
Yeah.
mechs or
We
whatever.
changed.
Yeah, it is exactly
Yeah.
the same shit. Where it is
Hideo stayed the same. We changed.
150 hours.
What?
But also Metal Gear, 12 hours. You know.
Yes.
Metal Gear 5 is like a 40-hour game with all the gameplay.
And the fucking action in Metal Gear is still dope. Like, to
Dude,
take
super
control
dope.
out of my
It's like
hands and watch
military.
it fucking samurai sword man cut up Metal Gear's arm
and you
off.
also got different times that Metal Gear was released. There wasn't a higher standard of video games that you have now for something for Death Stranding coming out.
Totally. And
And he's living up to that fucking legacy of Metal Gear.
like everything in Death Stranding is pretty good except the writing. And well, I mean the gameplay
playing
take
it.
the gameplay take or leave. I actually kind of liked the
I liked
building
it.
the roads and everything together.
I did
and-
like. I played Death Stranding and I really enjoyed it for a while. Even the fucked up just delivering packages for a while.
It's
But then even
novel.
then that falls off and you're like, okay, bro, seriously, like what the fuck am I doing this for?
And then it never pays off. And the few times it does pay off, they have no trust in you, the audience, to get their thinly veiled metaphors of like,
Exactly,
her name is
right.
Bridget. Do you get it? She bridges it.
She bridges it.
Die Hard Man because he should have died a lot of times and didn't.
Yeah. I
Yeah, and also his name is John McClane. Fuck off.
But-
like Amelie literally spells M-A-Lie.
Wow.
Also is French for false soul. And
I know you mentioned that earlier, the Die Hardman
it
and the
clicked.
John McClane. Now
Yeah.
it just
Now it
clicked. I'm like,
yeah.
fuck.
yeah,
boy.
it's really
He
brutal.
didn't even take the
Get that
time.
cross out. Get that cross out. I'm fucking dying on this hill.
It's back. John
he's
McClane
back.
turned you
Yeah.
back on.
No,
Sorry, I thought that was a negative.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, what? I thought Oj was like, yeah,
Stop
fuck
it.
this.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers! Get Death Stranding back on.
But there is
oh.
rumor of Hideo Kojima doing like a horror game,
Okay.
He should do a horror game.
which
'cause
I don't
think
like
he-
horror games, but I still love Hideo Kojima.
if he is going to do a horror, if anyone's going to do a horror game and have their like crazy fucking, especially the fact that he's just obsessed with making movies. I think
Yeah.
him and his crazy fucking outlandish, ideas for what story and that will thrive in horror games.
Yes.
Because
Yes,
horror games has
100%.
such a really low bar as far as like the good
Blair
ones.
Witch.
Even the good ones aren't very good as far as like examining
No,
the
but-
story and stuff. Yeah, Hideo, get in there, fucking make some crazy shit, and have your crazy fucked up stories
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
horror game. That'll work. I do it.
While we're talking about rumors, there is a currently, it seems very real, rumor that there's going to be DLC for Death Stranding, which makes a lot of sense. That DLC is going to be titled September 1998, which is the date and month that the
Original.
Shadow Moses infiltration began. The initial Metal Gear Solid start,
no.
and it's very so.
Stop
Also,
it.
there is this whole other aspect to it where. This game is Metal Gear 10,000 times over and knows what it is doing in a way that, like, did you like Metal Gear? Come on in, buddy. Come on in. And it never makes good on it.
Don't.
No.
Where the robots are literally the scarabs from Metal Gear 4. The delivery robots are literally those 3-armed scarabs from
Yeah.
Metal Gear 4. And
I will-
there's quite a few other things.
I will be there for that
Stop
DLC.
it. No,
No.
stop.
dead.
We're
No.
past
It's
this.
No,
It's
bullshit.
dead already.
Yeah, it's gone. It's off.
What
Stop
if it's Snake?
Leave him alone.
What if
I
it's
thought
there?
we were past
Star Wars
this.
stays.
Star Wars we'll talk about. Sekiro should stay.
Stays.
That's staying.
Fuck
Yeah.
yes. Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Kill
Pokemon
it.
players.
Hit it.
It's got Galarian. It's got Galarian Bong
Bring
Weezing.
us all in.
Let's hear it.
Oh,
Always lead with Bong Weezing.
has no
Go.
one else played?
You have all the Pokemon.
Offer
You're the
me a hit off the
Pokemaster.
Bong Weezing and I'm in.
It's
Call
a
and
nice
get out the Pokemon
but
matcher.
it's like same reason we crossed off Luigi's Mansion. It's a good Nintendo
Yeah.
game, but
That's-
it's
yeah.
easy.
Doesn't
Got
have the entire
another
Pokedex.
installment.
Not yet.
One
It
of the-
will with the expansions.
Not the entire. Only 200 more. It will.
Well,
it will.
so far.
You're right.
But with more money
Game Freak
and
has claimed, and I
time.
totally agree that we can't balance 1,500 Pokemon. Like,
I will say I agree with him on the
Touche.
fact that that sounds impossible.
Yes.
But
Kill it.
yes,
we feel okay.
Yeah.
We're taking it off.
I have not played Pokemon. It seems like another very good one of those.
All right, Kev. Slay the Spire.
Do
Here
it.
we
This is the
go.
one, buddy.
So I don't have to explain it this time.
Yeah,
I
let's
just,
leave it.
I just have to pull my.
Okay,
you
kill it.
can't take it off.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
The indignity of even making me talk about this on the first stream.
This is like the equivalent of the hooded man.
Okay,
saying nothing.
I fought for that we should keep Baba Is You on the list for the
Yeah.
first pass, and I have barely played that game. I like Slay the Spire a whole bunch and think it is
Way
dope as fuck.
more.
And I've played a lot of it, and for that reason, it should probably.
It should
Oh,
say.
it stays.
Yep.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather lose Baba over.
I'll hear the arguments.
We can lose Baba. It's literally, I think, my number 10.
Yeah.
So
Kill it.
Honored to be mentioned.
Yeah.
Made it through the first pass.
Second pass,
I
first
think
cut.
Baba Is You is like the game I regret not playing this year the most.
And my 10 spot, God bless it, is a
It's a
spot
sexy
that
thing
is
to
always
say.
reserved for the game that I just think is fucking rad.
Yeah.
That maybe there needs to be some things need to be tightened up
Yeah.
here or there. Maybe it's a little too hard for me, but I'm like, this is a fucking game. Whoever thought of this is a he's a game. This is a game.
Okay.
I'm gonna shotgun this beer real quick.
Can we jump down to Bloodstained? I feel like we didn't really talk about that in the first run through.
No, yeah, we made a little joke because I said I
Yeah.
wasn't cutting anything on my first go around.
How do you feel about Bloodstained?
Bloodstained should stay.
Okay.
Bloodstained is a very good game.
Okay.
Yeah, but deserves to be talked above a lot of the games that are still on this list. So I can talk about it now.
Sure.
I think it is a
It's not that we're going to cut it or anything,
right.
but this could be the time.
Obviously, the starting point for a lot of people would be Symphony of the Night.
Yep.
This is a game that does the whole Symphony of the Night thing perfectly. It does it. It recreates it very well.
And wears it on sleeve. Like, it's
Yeah,
not,
oh,
it's
yeah.
not hiding
Yeah,
that
it's not
fact
trying
at
to
all.
hide it.
From the creators of Symphony of the
Symphony of
Night.
the Night. We don't have the Castlevania license, but we can do every other thing exactly the same. But this game does an incredible thing of taking you from a, like, well, it's going to take me 10 slashes to get through this first very weak enemy to kill him. And by the end of the game makes you just an unstoppable killing machine, not just in how powerful your weapons are, which any video games does, your weapons always increase, but like just your movement where you can run fucking insanely fast, and you can flip the castle, and you
kind of
like,
turned to like a Sonic ball almost, where
Yeah.
like this energy ball just flies through the stage.
you go from just this so simple, cut and dry Symphony of the Night to this. It feels like you put like a cheat code in, like used a Game Genie or something to just break all the things and be like, well, I'm gonna just up all my stats, or I'm gonna make it so I can. I'm so powerful I can just use my dash, and I'll hit weak enemies and they'll just die instantly instead of actually having to fight them. At the end of that game, I don't think I've ever played a video game where at the end of that game I'm like, I'm 1 billion times stronger than I was when I started. Like, I'm literally running through, physically not stopping, running through enemies that halfway through the game I was like, fuck, not another one of these. The boss fights are insanely good.
Yep.
David Hayter is in it.
Yeah, he sounds
Known good man.
He's doing a snake voice.
Doing a
where
snake voice.
He literally says, like, it's the title card. And he goes, "Bloodstained,
Oh man.
Ritual of the Night."
It's very good. And
It's very snake.
Like we said, wearing it on its sleeve just in terms of what inspired it, but also it's taking a lot of stuff like the OD thing, and it's taking a lot of the quest giver who says kill this many demons because I want you to avenge this person. The quest is called Avenge Such a Name, and the name is all people from old Castlevania games. And
Simon.
yeah, like it is very much like come be a part of this fun thing that we made, even though we don't have the Castlevania license. You all know what we're making, and it's absolutely insane.
Also, there are 10,000. Like, you're making foods, and there are like fighting move combos on every wepen, and there's
quarter circles,
200,000 different weapons, and there's a lot to Bloodstained.
There's I don't know if this was ever in Symphony of the Night, but there's a sword that you can eventually you'll get to the point where you find the last enemy that you can farm and get their items and make this sword that just breaks the game. Like, I say breaks the game in a lot of ways where you might think, oh, so it kind of makes it less fun. Like, it kind of destroys the challenge. It kind of destroys the difficulty curve, and it 100% does that. But it totally knows it's doing that. Yeah. In a way where you're like, oh, you just let me destroy this game if I put the time in.
Power
break
fantasy.
everything. Yeah.
Feels good to be 10,000 times more powerful.
Yes.
We think it hangs? You think it hangs?
I think it hangs.
Okay.
All right.
I'd say
I got you. I know you're a Bloodstained fan.
2.
good.
If I got anybody, I got you.
So, first question for Super Mario Maker 2. Did that patch with the
Zelda.
co-op party
Playing with
thing in
friends?
Zelda,
No.
did that come out in 2019 or 2020?
2019.
That was 2019.
Okay.
December.
Okay.
Still pretty broken.
Yep. The online for Nintendo is fucking shit and continues to be in a way that makes you wonder if they even
It's a bigger
care
problem than this
or
game.
Not only that, it blows my mind that in 2019 they would put a game out and be like, "Oh, we didn't think you guys wanted to play with your friends online. Why would you want to do that?"
It's ridiculous.
Like, what?
Crazy.
What do you mean you didn't? What?
especially coming off of Smash Brothers last year, where like
Yes.
the multiplayer in Smash Brothers is fucked, is like not made by humans, and to come into Super Mario Maker 2, another first party title, and be like, what the fuck,
I have
you
to
guys?
believe that somewhere in Nintendo corporate, it just is deeply ingrained for them to just stick with what they know, and online does not fit that, and they're just being stubborn.
That
as
doesn't make sense.
Fuck about
at
it.
all.
It might.
It
like,
doesn't make sense at all.
doesn't make
It
sense
makes
at
no
all.
sense at all. But like, I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
Don't
like
worry,
their
no.
decisions.
We went through that for. I bought a USB 3 to Ethernet port for Smash to lower your latency by like 5, and yeah, it didn't make a difference.
It's
Just every
just
little bit
fucking
you could.
mind blowing that every other game developer, AAA or otherwise, has been like, online is the future. This connects gamers. It adds a different aspect of replayability a lot of times for our games. And Nintendo's just like,
No,
it's always worked for us to just have single player experiences.
But like, sit on the couch with your friend.
It's their online is completely inexcusable, and
It's a fucking joke at this point.
it is, and everybody, like a lot of people, I think they get a pass. Is like, oh, they're Nintendo, they're making my
Stop giving
5-year-old
them a fucking
loves
pass.
Mario Maker or whatever. But like, it is fucking insane.
It's bad.
It is super bad.
Which is a shame because the pieces are there.
Oh,
That
yeah.
Super Mario Maker
100%.
2
Mario Maker
game.
2, heck of a game.
Even when like you and I played couch co-op for the two of us playing, and,
Literally 5 feet across from one another.
right, and it was still pretty shitty. But in the moments that it did work, which it worked a lot better with you and I than it did when we were online with our buddy, Like it's really fun playing that with somebody else and racing them and trying to be the first one to finish this level or whatever.
And we're both going through levels like, oh, you just beat my time by a quarter second, and then I'm gonna go beat it by another quarter second, and when it works, it's super cool. But like, what the fuck, Nintendo?
I feel like we can take it off this list.
Can we?
Well, it's tough. Like, I mean, the internet
if the online is an issue, are we going to axe games for again sucking on console versus PC?
Yeah, we run into those same.
It's true,
we run into
but
those same conversations.
I feel like it more so than it's not just the online stuff. I feel like it's another same as the other ones. It's another Nintendo game.
The online stuff was their chance to, because there's not a ton to set it apart. There's new pieces and is there a new level palette, I think, right?
Yeah,
with the 3D world
3D,
or whatever.
Yeah.
There is some new stuff to it, but like the online was their chance to like, we know how to make modern video games. Check this shit out. And what the fuck? Like they patched in after the fact the ability to play with your friends, and it's still totally. Like,
and I will say,
sucks.
like trying to set the best times was actually a lot of fun. Like I had a lot of fun doing that.
But we could do that in Mario Maker 1.
But yeah, exactly.
Like,
That's not anything
and
new.
It might be easier in Mario Maker 1 because I don't remember having these online issues.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to keep it, I just feel like that's an easy
maybe
one that we can cut
tentatively
right now.
keep it, but
I
say,
say,
so we didn't
fuck
really
that,
talk.
Get rid of it.
I feel like the things that we didn't really talk about all the things that it does right.
Well,
and it does a lot of them very well. Like I loved playing your guys' levels whenever you'd post one up. I loved trying to beat times that you guys had done on other people's levels, and it surfaces that stuff really well. I still think the functionality to search and find your friends' levels could be better. Not really to search and find like one friend. You kind of just have to find them and friend them, and then it kind of maybe more. I want a better way for the good stuff in that game to be more pushed into my face.
there was an app for Mario Maker 1 you could use.
And that came out after, like, that was an after the fact thing, yeah.
That doesn't exist for 2. Like,
No.
2 is,
It's also
for some
stupid
reason,
that it
it is
needed an app
way
for 1.
fucking harder.
Yeah.
Well,
But I agree with you.
Yeah.
Even worse that they don't have the app for 2.
It's insane. And we'll have to consider this. This will be the Spec Ops conversation for Modern Warfare when we get to it. But it is a huge mark against Super Mario Maker 2.
Sure.
How do you feel
Do we
about...
leave it on for now?
I guess we can cut it, but yeah, still solo content was also great. Just there's
The story
a
was good,
individual
too.
story.
They added that single
just to pay
player
homage to
campaign.
the first one, which was ancient. So
They call you Big Red. That's real fun.
That's fine.
Nintendo is one of the only companies where, my job literally is to try to be nice with as many, AAA. I don't give a fuck about Nintendo. I will say fuck you, Nintendo, until they actually catch up to the rest of game devs and stuff. I have no problem saying that at all. They make some good games, but not enough to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to give you a pass on all this stuff that everyone else has figured out, and you're just being very stubborn about. So,
Eads, how do you feel about Ring Fit?
Ring Fit. Is it on this list?
What is that?
No, it's not.
That's why I'm asking.
Honored to be mentioned.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to bring it up again.
I don't know.
It has got me. I do it almost every day.
Yeah.
It's got me exercising.
Life-changing in a way that most video games aren't.
Let me tell you about a game called WWE 2K20.
Oh shit!
Okay, get
Comes
on
a new
that,
challenger.
Put on the board.
Give me Triple H versus Drago.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
it is a fantastic game.
All right, let's leave it on. No.
This is a fucking fantastic game.
I have 130 hours in it. Nowhere near as many hours as Colin has in Slay the Spire, but it's still pretty good.
Barely as much as I have in Death
You're
Stranding.
sick.
It is polished, good story, good feels, nice narrative arcs.
Byleth has come to Smash.
Byleth has joined Smash House,
Great time.
and Byleth recruits Byleth. It's great.
Excuse me.
I beg your pardon.
Hit the rewind.
It's in the trailer. You gotta
Qu'est-ce
check
que
it out.
Okay.
It is the farthest I've ever gotten in a Fire Emblem game or any tactics game in terms of how the story went. The character stuff had me from Jump Street, where I was just like, oh wow, they're all very different characters with all very different personalities, and I want to take them all for tea.
Is it a time thing that you didn't finish it?
It was 100% of time.
Yeah.
That game is long.
Yes.
And it came out at a time that was not so barren as right now, where a lot of stuff was coming out.
Keep it on the list for now. Control. I think we have a long discussion ahead of us for Control.
That one can stay for a
for
while.
the first
I think.
pass.
This is the second pass.
Call of Duty
Just
Modern
FYI.
Warfare. So there's a big, like I just mentioned, there's a big asterisk beside Call of Duty Modern Warfare that I don't. Did anybody play Spec Ops amongst us?
I didn't even try.
No.
Anecdotally, we all know that Spec Ops is designed very, very poorly when it works. It seems to be just a horde mode shooting AI enemies, which in a Call of Duty game is very unsatisfying. And B, does not work well ever. But again, this is all anecdotal because we all heard it sucked ass, so none of us
did not play it.
None of us chose to try it. It is a third of this game. It is presented. That main screen is cut into thirds, and it says campaign, multiplayer, Spec Ops.
Yeah.
So if one presented as third of this game, and they have since re-released classic Spec Ops, and they have since been tweaking it and trying to get it right. And every single time
They re-released classic Spec Ops.
they release something called Classic Spec Ops, which is not what you think it is.
That's what you want it to be, though.
Turns out it sucks, and have tried it again and again and have not been able to get it.
But at least they tried, Nintendo.
You're not wrong.
Bring Call of Duty to the Switch.
It is a huge, huge mark against Call of Duty that none of us have experienced here personally, but must be considered into these into Control not running well on the consoles. It must be considered in this discussion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Coupled with the issues I had with the cutscenes, not being able to really see a single cutscene in the campaign. I think the multiplayer is very good.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the more positive side. I mean, to take a franchise that was once very, very popular, and that for at least me, I don't know about everybody else, but like had really fallen off in the past several years. I mean, when you say you're bringing back Modern Warfare, that's going to pique my interest because that's kind of one of the first CODs that I ever played was Call of Duty 4. But like, yeah, the online just feels like they just didn't try and overcomplicate things with this year. Like, it's pretty simple in its ways, but it feels good, it plays good, it runs good, it looks good.
The online is very, very good.
Yeah.
And there are some good moments in that campaign.
Yeah. I enjoy. So I suck at Call of Duty. Always will. Always have. Sucked at this one enough that I also walked away from it pretty quick. So every now and then I'll jump on for a few little bursts. But I will tell you, I knew I was buying that $80 video game for probably just the campaign, unless all of a sudden, over a year without practicing, I got really good at Call of Duty. I was like, I'm probably just playing this for the campaign. And I walked away from that $80 video game being like, I don't feel like I wasted my money playing that campaign. So
I mean, it makes the first pass, definitely.
Yeah.
But when we revisit, that Spec Ops thing is
the second pass.
really weighing on me. Fallen Order.
It's the second pass.
Listen, I think Fallen Order is a very good Star Wars story. I don't really like playing Fallen Order very much. I turned it down to easy and had a much better time. I think they expect things of you on the 2 higher difficulties, but do not give you the tools to do them. They expect you to be able to make dodges in certain windows, but your dodge literally can't do it. You can't cancel your animations into one another. It very much builds itself as like, we made Sekiro with lightsabers. Look at our stamina bar.
It really is fitting that they're right next to each other.
And you play it. It doesn't play great. It doesn't.
Yeah,
The combat is.
I enjoy Star Wars Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order, as I think we've all accepted. It's a decent Star Wars game, which is something that we've been all just wanting to have for a while.
And haven't.
I think because of that, we give it certain breaks and stuff. But when we're talking about Game of the Year, I'm just going to say my opinions of it. I think they nailed, and you guys have echoed this before, they nailed a lot of the stuff that's important as far as making a good Star Wars game, which is the Force abilities. You know, being able to have yourself as a Jedi feel powerful, upgrading your push ability, knocking off a bunch of stormtroopers and stuff at the same time. However, the parry system is shit, in my opinion. I agree with you in terms of the dodge stuff as well. Fucking platforming issues like crazy, where you look like you extend your hand out to the left, and it looks like you should be able to just jump to the thing that's
fucked
right to your left, and you fucking jump diagonally for some reason.
He breaks the rule. The hand goes out, and you know that's a safe jump. But in Fallen Order, it's not.
It sounds so stupid, but I felt so betrayed by
so
that.
did I.
I was like,
absolutely.
Uncharted and countless other video games have taught me if my fucking hand goes out,
that means I'm gonna
I
make
can
it.
jump over there.
Yeah.
I also, to that, I think that 90% of the collectibles, there are some lightsaber pieces that look cool and are very different. You can see them, but 90% of the collectibles, the ship colors, the cloak and poncho colors, and the lightsaber pieces, you never see in the game. They are completely a waste of your time. We're like, I got a new fucking emitter or whatever,
Especially
and it's
with
this
the
little
lightsaber.
piece in the middle that you can't see.
I think the only one that I actually think I enjoyed the most was the poncho colors, because those are one I found a lot of them,
Yeah.
just in general for me, for my playthrough, and I enjoyed being able to like mess around with them. Eventually, I found the pink poncho, and I just fucking wore that shit.
I thought some of those ponchos were really good looking.
Worth mentioning,
exactly.
worth mentioning as well, there are at least 2 of those ponchos that are might as well be the same color. Like the collectibles feel so
no,
good.
there
And
was
then
a lot.
there are 2
Right.
ponchos where
There's
it's
a couple where it's like,
oh,
oh,
the
you
highlights are a little
You
lighter,
changed
maybe?
a little bit of this hex color, yeah.
I think the
for sure.
collectibles are really disappointing in that game, where they encourage you to explore, and then 90% of the time you're just finding stuff
What
like
if we changed Cal's hair color?
an emitter. I can't say the hair color would have been cool because
That
at least you
actually
could
would've
see
been
it.
kinda-
Or a backwards ball cap.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I it's a great story. I think everything around it is really disappointing.
And also,
I agree with Max. Maybe more so positive on the game as a whole, to the point that I don't think we should get rid of it. Where I thought that the definitely the Force side stuff of it. I agree with you
Yes.
guys, especially. I mean, I think anyone who played much Sekiro and this game will say that I just want that lightsaber combat to be like Sekiro. Like the game exists out there. Just make that. But I thought the Force power stuff was just so much fun, and I played Jedi and Sekiro for 2 very different reasons. Jedi, I played to fucking run amok through 100 stormtroopers, and
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Sekiro,
too.
I've played ready to struggle with one fucking guy on a rooftop.
Everyone knows like kind of what they want out of a specific video game, and that's like for me in Star Wars, I've always wanted to just feel like I'm fucking unstoppable. If I'm a Jedi, if I have a lightsaber and I have the
Right.
Force, I want to feel like I can fuck anything up and nothing can touch me.
Yeah.
You kind of
So
are. but
that's
then-
why I never like I started on the easiest difficulty because I wanted to run through shit. I didn't want it to be challenging in that
but, like,
in that way. I guess
you're mowing through stormtroopers, and then you fight an AT-AT for 45 minutes. Like
I never had a problem with AT.
Bro, you fought an
I wanna-
AT-AT for 45
Yeah.
minutes.
I just had to throw it, so it bugged out where if I got close, it seemed like it would lock up or some shit, and I just had to throw the fucking grenade.
Throw
into
the
his
grenades
face
at him, that's-
nonstop, and it
I
took a
think-
really long time.
Yeah.
And you didn't do the what you said. You actively said on the stream that you can't get the timing down. The like deflect the lasers back at them with the double-sided
Yeah.
lightsaber.
I
which
did a few times.
yeah,
so.
which for me it was literally I
That
just
was
stand
big.
there until they shot it, and then it would just be like,
Yeah.
and that would be a
Which-
quarter of the health.
Yeah.
Like it feels strange that I can play a game like Sekiro New Game Plus with all the extra
Yeah.
difficult
Oh, yeah.
modifiers on,
Sekiro
and,
is a 1
and I can
million times harder.
I can fly through that thing
Yeah.
and feel like a god, and then I'm like trying to like this thing is like pew, and I have a 2-second window to get my block up, and like
Right,
it's not working.
It's
and
not that
I
it's
don't
difficult.
Think
it's that
me.
it's yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not that the game is too difficult. It's
Yeah.
that it's just not.
You're
built
dying
properly.
a lot, and it feels like it's maybe not your fault, and you don't really know what you have
Also,
to do to improve.
for that game too, if unless you went early on and looked for collectibles to get your extra stims,
Yeah.
a lot of people actually played that game only like I only got like 2 or 3 stims. When you can have up to 10, and that is a completely different experience.
Oh yeah.
You can have
Yeah.
up to
You can have 10
stims.
stims.
Shit, I got
the max.
6 and I thought that was
Up
a
to
lot.
10 stims, which is what I'm saying,
that-
and that's something that you discover if you explore that, which is a completely different experience.
Especially with that final boss fight.
Difficulty-wise,
Because
yeah.
even on easy,
Oh, yeah.
I struggled with that.
Yeah.
I died several times to that final boss fight.
I played it on second to hardest, which whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah.
And god, fucking damn Trilly.
And I had like I think I had 7, and I
Like
still
2
was
hours,
dying.
I was just fucking fighting her over and over
So
and
if
over
you
again.
if you like you say if you happen to get to that final boss and you've only got 2 stims,
Yeah.
And
you're
it-
fucked. Like
and-
there's no way you'd be able to do
And
it.
like we discussed before, like they discourage you from exploring in a way where you are finding these collectibles and like, well, that was a waste of my time. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going on these side paths because I don't care about a lightsaber emitter or a lens or whatever the fuck. That's where you find the stims.
Yeah.
Like the stims are down those paths, so
Yeah.
they are
That's a good
discouraging you from exploring, but also. It maybe should be a little more like, yo, cool upgrades down this way. You want stem? Here's a little more puzzly aspect. You
Right.
get a sense you're.
Because it always felt like for me, I always almost every time I got a stim, I got to a point going down the path where I'm like, this is a stim path.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
that was how it was for me because it was like they put the stims at the end of the more involved, complex kind of paths with like actual puzzles. Like there's that thing under where the where your ship lands on that very first planet with the temple and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that
and
part was
underneath
cool,
there's
yeah.
that little ball
The
puzzle.
ball thing, yeah.
And as soon as I like looked at that, I was like, there's a fucking stim in here. I gotta get this
But
stim.
then again, there's also a stim on Dathomir where you go in this certain route, you fight this kind of little mini boss, and you have to just kind of work your way around this path that eventually leads to a stim that's just.
But
up
I think
on a
even
cliff.
on that one where it was like there was a mini boss, I was like, oh, something is here that isn't maybe just an emitter or a thing. I can't remember exactly which ones, but there were several where I just knew on the way. I was like, this feels like a stim path because it's long or it's more difficult or it's
I had been led down way too many paths where I got just a useless piece for my saber or a color for my poncho or a thing for my ship that I'm like, I don't care because I have the upgrade called Greasy Money, so what the fuck else am I ever going to use? And that it was just like, I'm not going to spend 2 hours. Put that knife away. I'm not going to spend 2 hours going down this fucking path fighting soldiers dying over and over again. Like, oh, cool. Now my lightsaber's black on the end.
Speaking to the, I'm just invested in Brando shotgunning his beer.
You gotta watch it.
Just don't get it in the mic. Is all I ask.
Shotgunning beer. We're gonna play this.
Point it at your
The
face.
beer.
The knife.
The liquid.
I don't care about the
Brando
sound.
is inserting the knife into the Bud Light right now.
There's a shotgun
Preparing
going
the shotgun
on.
hole.
Why are
He
you
says
spinning it? You
Jedi
just-
Fallen Order has to stay, and
Very
this is
nice.
why.
Yep.
And flip the knife out and is stabbing a beer can.
Absolutely.
the stems were well hidden.
Okay, let's leave it on.
I can't stop.
Well, we
looking
can't
at
go
this.
back to talking about this until he's done.
No, until he's
wait,
done
let's
shotgunning
watch
the
it.
beer.
We'll wait for it to happen.
It needs to just happen.
And here he goes. Here's
May
the
the-
approach.
You
A
gonna
little bit of
stand up?
spillage
I think I
off
should.
on the
Yeah,
right hand
Yeah,
side.
definitely stand up.
Quite on separate.
It'll gravity will
All
But
right.
the approach.
This is a frame perfectly. We need
Brando is
quiet.
now standing up, assuming the position, and here he goes.
Yes.
Here he goes. Go,
Beautiful.
go, go.
Wow.
Like a pro.
Elegant.
Not even afraid at all.
That's good.
Elegant
right
and
down the
delicious.
This is a man with no gag reflex.
Absolutely
And it's done. And
fantastic.
it's done.
Well done.
Yes,
Well done.
Well done. Well done.
The golf club
You're a good man.
for the jug.
So back to video games.
Grab me a moon while you were there, would you, bro?
Yeah, sure.
I think Fallen Order should come off this list. It's kind of what I'm
Last
getting
thing I was going to say, as a ding to Fallen Order, because you guys were talking about paths and going exploring down them.
Yeah.
I understand that they wanted it to be in the vein of Sekiro and they wanted it to be in the vein of Dark Souls in terms of, fucking there's no fast travel. This game, absolutely, for quality of life. It is not Sekiro. It is not fucking Dark Souls. It should absolutely have at least one quality of life fast travel back to your ship. Just fast travel back to your ship.
Or better yet,
Point to fucking points.
also you get fast travel in Sekiro.
What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. It's
Every
like,
Souls game you get fast travel.
it's just one of those things
Jedi's
where
don't fast
it's
travel,
not
guys.
fun to
Come
go
on.
through. I finished all of the shit in this level. Yes, you have a map, but it's a bit convoluted sometimes. Especially, I shouldn't have to just fight my
But-
way all the way back.
You
just
get
to the
like
ship.
two little shortcuts.
No,
that make it so
I'm
much
with you.
shorter.
fucking
It's not,
stupid.
that's not the Jedi way, guys.
I
Come on.
like the map.
It's a.
Really?
It's
The map
not the
is
best
good.
map of the year. It
In
might
a
be the
no,
second
year
best.
The map
without
isn't
Resident
bad.
Evil 2.
The map
be the
itself
best map.
isn't bad. Like the hologram map that you go
Yeah,
through.
I like that too.
If they didn't have that, I would be fucking furious.
Yeah.
That at least made it like manageable, but I still think for quality of life for a lot of people who just didn't even want to deal with that, like, and a lot of times, I mean, if you're not interested in the collectibles, why the fuck do you care about this alternate path
Yeah,
that now you can go to because you've gotten this
You're just gonna
ability?
go do what you want to do.
You don't care.
And
you know
they
what I
have
mean?
previously maybe slapped you on the wrist and been like, "Don't care
Yeah.
about the collectibles.
Don't
Stop
do it.
wasting your
Yeah,
time,
exactly.
stupid."
Yeah, right.
We all kind of the consensus coming into this game throughout the year, which I think we mostly all agree with, was it was a little half baked. It felt like it needed another 6 months in the oven, just polish and pass and systems.
The fucking
they had to get up for the movie.
Had to be up
for the movie
because of the movie.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Which is unfortunate
for them and their
Yes.
marketing.
I think it is the
But-
best Star Wars game in years.
Yes.
But I
That
also
said-
think it should maybe come off.
Let's
the
not
left.
forget the fucking moments, though.
And also, I think there's more to come. Maybe not a direct sequel necessarily, but I think that studio will make
for sure.
more Star Wars games. And
There's no way they look at this
Crazy
and
money.
everybody being excited about it as a proof of concept and see like, well, we should never do anything
on
with
the
that again.
grounds of them putting the big moment at the end in a trailer.
It's fucking stupid,
That's me.
dude.
Kill it.
That alone is honestly enough for
Actually,
me.
just before we kill it, a couple things. Number one, how many are left? Not that it matters, but
Yeah.
how many are left?
We have Sekiro to talk about.
fuck,
Slay.
chill.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Kill Apex Legends. Kill
8,
it.
9, 10, 11, 12, including
Okay,
Star Wars.
so that's fine. You can kill Star Wars. The other thing
we
before
feel
we
okay
kill it,
about-
Yep, all right.
before
okay
we kill it, a great year for red-headed main characters.
Yes.
Cal
Finally.
Lightsaber.
Hell yes.
Finally.
Who's the other?
Cal lightsaber.
Who
Control.
else do we got?
Control.
Oh, Jesse.
Lightsaber.
Jesse
Hell
Faden
of
is a
a
redhead.
redheaded main character.
Hell yes.
We had Aloy last year.
That was in
2
like
years
2016.
ago.
That's 2 years
That's
ago.
2 years ago.
Dear me.
That was maybe 3 years ago.
16 even.
It was 2 years ago.
That's
Was
four.
it 2?
I'm so far
Price
behind.
16 is 4.
Actually,
Price
maybe it
that
was
red?
3 years ago.
Oh.
Is Price redheaded or is he brown?
Price is kind of like
Got a little bit of
blonde.
auburn.
Dirty blonde. You probably his driver's license
Mustache
probably
is brown.
I
more
fucking
brown
really
than
liked
that.
his hat.
Yeah.
At
First sat on his head.
At first, I was
hat.
like, "That hat makes no sense,"
Yeah.
and then it never ever moves. I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Oh.
pinned it to his hair or something."
Yeah, I think it's being held down with his own self-confidence.
He's weaved it into his skull. I see.
The hat stays fucking frosty. What's your problem? Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. I think should hang.
I can't talk about this game.
On
I'm just
this
going to
list.
pee. I'll be right back.
I think it's going to hang. So let's just move on to something else
okay,
for now.
sure.
We'll save our fucking
Okay.
save our bullets. Then.
Slay the Spire, Kevin.
Next pass.
No, this is past 2. We need to hear some words.
I have 651 hours of content to talk about.
That's
Slay
fucked
the
up.
Spire.
That's really. Is that true? You have
That is true.
651
I can
hours this
show
year?
you on my Steam.
That's fucked up.
I played a lot of Destiny too.
It
I
has
don't like that game.
infinite replay value, and
Well, so does Death Stranding.
I mean that's not true at all.
What do you mean?
So does Star Wars.
So does everything. So does Apex, man.
Apex.
So does
Apex makes more sense than any of those other games.
So does
you
Call of
said.
Duty Modern Warfare.
No.
What?
What?
Yeah, just play multiplayer.
Multiplayer.
Can't give me Apex and not Call of Duty.
It's not
No,
most.
because Apex is just that, right?
It's not most game.
You're
Kevin.
Yeah,
skipping
yes,
out. You're
yeah.
skipping out on most of the
that,
experience.
that little part is the infinitely replayable part.
It's not most
multiplayer.
game. It's best game. Kevin, what's the best about Slay the Spire?
It's a very satisfying experience to go through, and in the same vein as like a Souls game, to get better as you play and learn things about the fights and about the bosses and about certain cards and how they interact with certain other cards and relics that you pick up, and it's just very, very, very in-depth.
I will say that it always feels like you're on the cusp of completely breaking the game in a way that the designers never intended, but they obviously did, and that is always super satisfying.
And let me tell you, when you do break it, because
day, baby.
there's very, very significant
day.
times where you break that game and everything just falls into place, and it's like, wow, I just win.
I feel like I've heard you use that exact same way to describe that game a few times.
my box quote.
Yeah.
And every time you say it, it like brings me up higher on that game. Then I'm like, fuck, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
For me, it's that there's very minimal upgrades within the game itself. It's your own knowledge expanding on the game that makes it so much better. And every time you learn more and more and more and more, and it's you learning that, not you unlocking things or getting new abilities.
Brando, I have a confession.
Amazing.
I was being a little bit of devil's advocate when it seemed like he's bringing up Slay the Spire, and I was like, all right, Slay the Spire, it's time.
Yeah.
I think Slay the Spire might be one of the best 5 games.
You think so?
I think Slay the Spire is really fucking. It's a deck. So Brando doesn't know it's a deck
What
building
you were
game.
just describing to me was very much Outer Wilds. So
Totally,
I was
totally.
like, oh.
It has that same thing of like,
Yeah.
there's a finite number of cards in the game,
Right.
and they're not very many. You learn them very fast.
Learn something every loop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it totally is. To the point where now, like, my next step of learning is I need to go watch this 4-hour video breakdown
Okay.
of how
You
to do
lost
this
me.
thing. I'm as high as I
100%
can
lost me.
get. But it is very much you are learning the knowledge of how to. You're always trying to break the game. It seems like
Spire.
it is a fucking dope ass deck building game. It is so good.
I can only assume that it's a very good game because everybody won't shut up about it.
It's like Binding of Isaac meets a card game where you're getting like 100 random relics and you're getting random relics on each one. And you're like, wow, this one breaks the game, and then you get it and still die in like 2 things. You're like, I guess not.
Okay, so it stays for now then.
It's very very
Back
good.
up to the top.
It's really well done.
Make another pass.
Well, cut it the
We're
next
gonna have to
time.
start cutting here. I'm feeling feisty.
Just Apex Legends is a pretty easy cut.
What?
Fuck, there's so many good games on
I'd say Tetris is an easy cut.
I think Tetris
Tetris
might
is
be
an easy cut. Yeah.
99.
Tetris 99. All
Oliver comes in like, no!
Okay.
Yeah, I think Tetris is an easy cut for sure.
We need to talk about cadence. Is that maybe the next?
I got a couple games we're looking at right here
What do you got?
that
What do you
I'm
got?
kind of championing. I would cut Bloodstained before Cadence.
all I needed to hear.
Really?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You were the only one on Bloodstained.
Well, I think
really.
Bloodstained
I'm
sounds
the
interesting.
only one on Bloodstained.
It sounds interesting. I just don't
Yeah.
know.
I've played a few hours. I
Yeah.
played the first 2 bosses. I did the mermaid lady on the boat, and then
Love Symphony of the Night.
I think it was David
You should
Hayter, whatever the
play
next
that
one
game.
was.
Yeah,
I know.
David Hayter's tough. David Hayter was my Lady Butterfly in that game.
I thought we were supposed to lose though for a
Bloodstained
while.
and what is that on?
What is it on?
Everything.
Oh, probably everything by now.
Everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Except, is it on Xbox? I think
It's
it
on
is. I
Xbox.
think it
I
is
played it
on
on
literally
Xbox.
everything.
Yeah,
Is it on
it's on
Switch?
Xbox.
It is on
It is
Switch.
on Switch.
I feel like
I
that
feel
would
like
probably
there
be a
It
good
might
game.
run
has
my fucking
been
balls.
rumors of bad technical problems on the
Shit.
Switch.
Oh shit! Consider that as we take Bloodstained off the list.
See, that also that was
Kill
the
it.
platform that I was like, I would play it.
That
on,
would
you
be
know
the
what I mean?
game, and
Exactly.
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like the kind of game
That's
that it is.
unfortunate, yeah, to hear.
1,
How many is that?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need to get 3 games.
Fuck, we're fucking right there.
from our game of the year list. Our runtime right now is almost 9 hours, but we're getting there.
That's shorter than last year.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You scroll up a bit.
This is
Not
where
by
we-
much, though.
This is almost where we lost.
Also,
it
I
last
think
year,
we
though.
spent the last 3
Almost
hours
feel
last
like-
year on
It was like top 6.
Oliver is gonna leave in 4 minutes, and then God help us.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm about to pour another drink, you guys.
Oh, hell
Listen,
yes.
it's 10:40 here right now. I think
Super
we're doing
early.
great.
We're doing
honestly.
well.
If we stay on track again, anything could fucking happen. Who the
Stay
fuck
on
knows?
target.
And I feel like part of the
Stay on
part of the
target.
viewers part of
If
the
we
viewers
keep
in
talking
chat.
about how good we're doing,
Yeah,
we're
no
never actually going to do good.
We're doing
So
so good. We're doing so good, guys.
What do we think might be
Does anything
The
jump
next-
out at anyone?
for a cut?
I think get rid of Apex. I think it's okay unless anybody's like,
I can't-
okay. I'm gonna say
we
it.
got some.
There's lots of Apex
horses
love on
over
this
here.
corner. Yeah.
I'm only saying this because eventually we're gonna have to start making some cuts. So I'm
Yep.
gonna
Yeah.
nominate it in terms of it is a fantastic BR and honestly like it changed a lot of the way BR is kind of going. You know what I mean? AAA made by Respawn did a lot of good stuff right. They have characters that are at least interesting enough for us to talk about on a
Totally.
podcast.
In a space that, remember, Fortnite is literally the biggest video game
Yeah.
in the world.
Absolutely.
And Apex still, a new Battle Royale came out in 2019 and
And
still found its foothold.
came
and its
out
purchase.
of nowhere. When we did this podcast
Completely
last
out
year,
of
we were
nowhere.
like,
True.
there's some new Battle Royale game coming from the Titanfall people.
It has
in
its
3
own
days.
unique spin. It is this 3-player thing, which at first you're like, oh, 3 players. No,
Okay,
thank you.
so I guess when we look at Apex, if we scroll through the list, is there anything else that contends with it that you want to kind of put it up against, or do we just want to keep it on for a second pass?
Cadence?
Might be.
I'm not arguing that Apex should just immediately come off. I'm just saying if we're going to start picking out games to get rid of because we have to.
I love Cadence so much, but I think it's my first to go.
It's a little thin.
because it is necro-dancery. in
So
some
I don't.
ways.
I think it improves on Necrodancer a lot to the point where I don't want to cut it, but because of that, I'd maybe cut it because it is thin and short.
Also,
Yeah.
I would also say for
what-
myself, out of a place of complete ignorance, just because I don't know anything about it, Fire Emblem was something that would jump out to me.
Gosh. No one's noticing Fire Emblem yet. It's going to sneak in the top 5.
we're all trying to be respectful.
We're trying to
I'm
be
not
respectful.
I'm not trying to just sewer it. It's just
I really want to play Fire Emblem. I'm like February. We're gonna start playing Fire Emblem on the stream.
I want to say something that means nothing but everything.
Maybe.
here we go.
We have
This is
have
the
a-
shotgun talking now.
we have him as beers 3, 4, and 9. We have a new recruit on the podcast as of late who just came into town.
Andy Captain.
Andy Captain.
God bless him.
He's not a part of this. He has not been
Simple
a part of
man.
the 2019 year, so he could not be a part of the 2019 year.
He'll be
Also,
here next
he's
year.
in Red Deer or something.
God, imagine GOTY with Andy.
We teased his game of the year that we were going to say what his game of the year was, and we never actually revealed it on the show.
It's time.
His game of the year, and I knew it, and it's far and away Fire Emblem. So
Nice.
So that's the opinion of a guy whose opinion is moving on.
Bryce and Colin are like, fuck yeah, I'm a supporter.
if there's ever
for you
reason
guys.
to cut a game, there it is.
Andy likes it.
I love anime. Apparently, let's keep the anime games on.
Yep.
It's I can
It's
yeah
not style.
I can,
It's the best game.
We have not cut.
It's a
cadence.
good game. It's not style.
Scroll down a little bit. We'll
I
at
just
the bottom.
yeah.
So I just wanna-
Sekiro, Slade Spire. Okay.
How much of a pain in the ass would it be for you, Matt, to put those
what's
Together.
left somewhere.
games close to each other.
Like if you
I could like for real delete the things if we
Yeah.
can. If as long as there's.
That's fine.
I've been striking through.
You know what? I honestly think it's probably better so that we don't look at them
Yeah.
and be like, let's bring that shit back.
I've been striking them through in case. That
No,
does happen. Of like, what do we take off the list so far?
I think we're good now. I don't think there's anything.
I have to
left
see them next to each other,
but also,
so I
too,
can tell which one's the
if we
ugliest.
see what used to be, then we're going to be like, well, then this shit should come back.
It's Walking Dead.
That does sound
Walking
like
Dead's
us.
coming
Walking
back. If we
Dead.
run out
That
of
does.
homes. Kingdom Hearts.
Because Clementine imagined Lee Everett.
Okay.
Pea, please.
Look at, I'm already feeling
that.
better about our progress.
I know, look at that.
Look at that.
Look at
1,
this.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's probably 9 games.
Wow.
Okay, so as a man who would obviously cut Slay the Spire first out of again a place of ignorance, and
I would too.
I
I don't
played
know
it,
anything about it though.
but I
other than that people like it, it's a card game and it seems like it's approachable.
Right.
and I never got to the point where you were really breaking open all the I never got to the goodies inside that game that it sounds like you guys are talking about. So I would probably agree to cut Cadence of Hyrule.
That's a impassioned argument, but all right.
I've got no arguments there.
All right.
I don't think I have a lot of support. I think Matt's probably my best support on that, and that's
Yeah.
not your game either.
Down with Zelda.
I
That's
have
what
a
my t-shirt
serious
says.
mental
Down
block for giving Game of the Year to a remake.
Ooh, Slay the Spire.
So in Resident Evil 2's defense,
I've heard there is new content.
it is so much more.
Completely.
It's a different
The
game,
original
like-
game is literally it's not top down. It's from the corner perspective, but it is a 2D isometric kind of weird perspective game. This is a 3D. It is a like third person shooter.
I
it
have
is
played enough of it to
completely
know that it's
plot
different.
the same.
loosely.
Loosely.
But yeah,
not
there's
even
some big
not even
changes.
Some
There's a
of-
lot of changes.
Yeah, most.
Yeah.
and you control
some,
two different characters.
Some of the script is the
It's
same,
kind of the same,
but it is
But
a.
also kind of not.
It's Leon and Claire, but it is. I will not play the original. Resident Evil 2, the original, is tough to play. It's kind of a bad game by modern standards. The words remake, they should have called
as far
this
as
like.
control goes, yes, but I mean like it's kind of
Yes. Also, the word remake is me adding it. This game is called Resident Evil 2
Yeah.
/ Biohazard 2. I am the one putting remake in because we all know what I'm talking about.
Is the remake not in the title?
I don't think so.
It shouldn't be.
No,
I don't think so.
It isn't.
I think it's just Resident Evil 2.
I fucking think Resident Evil 2 remake is a banger of
Yeah.
a video game.
Oh, yeah.
That needs to stay.
From what I've played of it too, it is very good.
It plays.
Best map maybe of all time. While we're talking
Yeah,
maps.
well, best map, certainly.
Kev's a map guy.
You like maps?
Big map guy, Kevin.
God,
No map guy.
Let me look up
oh
this map.
shit.
Calling it a remake does it
Gets on his phone.
bad service. It is a completely new game, top to bottom.
Put
It is-
2019 on there.
It is 100% a new
Just
game.
like
Yeah, give it a
Modern
remake.
Call
It's
of
called
Duty.
2019.
I would
Resident Evil 2
not say
2019.
100% a new game. I'd say 80% new game.
yeah.
The script, some of the script is the same. Some of the script is the same.
Yeah,
The bad
20%.
localization.
What do you
is-
think? Yeah, yeah.
I think
like
way less than
Warren said,
20%.
there's kind of some Modern Warfare-ish stuff where it's like, well,
Is this a
I bet you Call of Duty Modern Warfare this year is more like Call of Duty Modern Warfare the year it came out, all things considered,
100%.
than this game is to old Resident Evil 2.
Totally. It's the same game. It is modernized.
So what you're saying is remove Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
No, I'm saying that.
You could do it.
I'm saying that
I'm not saying that.
Kevin has a mental block that maybe we should not all subscribe to. Is what I'm saying.
Get
The
on board,
word,
people.
the word remake should not exclude.
I like that
this.
we just fucking problem solve, change
That's
the title.
better. That's better.
There we
Bracket
go.
2019.
Different
go.
branding.
Done.
Keep going.
Great.
Moving on.
This is really hard. This is like we're down to it. This is.
This is
Why is Apex in there?
Apex is fucking.
I think
that's top
Apex
5
deserves
game.
to be in there.
Top
I,
5 game of the year
again,
for sure.
I don't really enjoy it, but
It is the like I talked to you guys about my noted Call of Duty prowess. That extends to every first-person shooter ever made. In that I'm not good at any of them. I've never had so much fun in a battle royale, and maybe never had so much fun in a competitive first-person shooter as I do in Apex Legend. Still not being good, but being able to help my team in ways
Yeah.
that I don't need to be quite as skilled to help my team. And I can tell you, Kings Canyon, the first map that came out, I've never known a first-person shooter map. Like, I've known Kings Canyon's map. Like, I got into Apex Legends in a way that first-person shooters, I dip my toe in every one because I want to see what it's all about, and am quickly like.
And battle royales.
Yeah,
as well. Like PUBG, Fortnite, we tried them all.
Yeah. I think Apex Legends is the things they do with the pinging system. They totally like. As a man who does not want to socialize with people that I don't know over a headset, the pinging system opened up a whole new world to me about being like, I can play with two randos and not communicate with them with my voice. I can just be like, this is here, this is here.
So much so where Fortnite and a bunch of other shit were just like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was a great pull, and like
rebooting was a big thing too.
Yeah.
The fact that you can bring back your down guys was a big addition.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, also copied by others.
Yeah. But that's how, like, honestly, if Fortnite's taking these ideas, they're good ideas.
Yeah.
So,
let's talk about Call of Duty. I love that multiplayer. I've had my issue with the single player. And we have none of us tried the Spec Ops, which is maybe... Was that going to be another shotgun?
I was teasing a shotgun. That was only for you.
Is maybe enough to get it off this best games of the year list.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it hurts me. It's the only Call of Duty I've played in 6 or 7 years, but...
It's a very good game.
Like
very good campaign.
It's got some issues.
Console-wise, we obviously didn't have the same campaign issues.
Yeah. And worth mentioning,
helps.
the crossplay stuff is fucking amazing, where I own it on PC and I can play on a controller with you guys on the Xbox and only play controller people.
That's really good.
And that stuff is incredible.
That's really neat.
Everyone should do that, like Fortnite has been doing for a long time.
What the fuck is going on with your textures?
Yeah, I don't. Why are my shaders
That's a PC
reinstalling
thing, too,
every single time
every
as well?
fucking
Like,
time. We didn't even talk about that until just now.
as recent as like 2 weeks ago, my shaders reinstalled.
You're right. Get it off the fucking list.
And it's like a 40-minute thing, which really blows.
Good game.
Because
It is very good.
Call of
And
Duty
like I said,
GG.
back to form.
even if it was an $80 campaign for me, I was like, well, I didn't waste my money.
Yeah.
It keeps me super optimistic for where they're going to go now from that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good jumping off point.
6, 7. We have 7 games.
Two
on
more.
this list.
Shit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Doing great, guys. All right,
Yeah,
come on. Just keep at it, gang.
There has to be a way to
Let's
get
be
Slay the Spire
understanding,
off.
compassionate.
Like, Fire Emblem's a good game,
to
but
me.
it's not this podcast's game of the year.
I was
Like,
gonna
Cadence
see it
is
through
already
with you.
dead.
Hell
So
yeah.
There's a man who hasn't been drinking and wants to go home to bed. Hell yeah.
Weakness.
I can't save it myself.
What did you say again? Sorry. It's not a the podcast.
It's not-
It's not the podcast.
Yeah.
game
Oh,
of the
Weird.
year.
And
And
so is Slay the Spire.
In another universe, we might find some.
That's one.
In another universe where more of us had played Fire Emblem.
1, 2.
Yeah,
Three,
half
three.
the table,
Three.
baby.
Four.
Okay.
Half the table.
Good.
1, 2,
surprise.
As somebody that I feel like has played, I think I'm coming to this show playing fair few of the games that have been on here. I wish I would have played Fire Emblem just so I had more of an opinion on it because
Very
I've heard
good.
enough good things about it. I mean,
I walked into this room quietly thinking in my head, I'm going to see if I can get Fire Emblem at number 5 with Bryce.
And then Bryce fucking poked a hole in the butt.
Bryce did that. I was like, I have to think of a new number 5.
Fire Emblem for me has always been like, I want to play it in theory, but then I it
Play
just
Slay
never,
the Spire.
it never
Good.
happens. Yeah.
It's like, I'm fine with it's a good list.
We need to get rid of one more of these.
here we go.
Except for
That's
Apex.
Fuck, we're right there.
What do we
I'm
get
not
rid
happy.
of?
So
This is
is
it.
I don't want to lose any game.
We're getting down to it
This
now.
is it.
is
So there's your top 6 list. We'll call her a night. Thanks for listening. See you later.
Tied at number 4.
so you are all extremely adamant on Control and Outer Wilds getting in. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
both of those.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in a world
Team
where we
Slay got
removed
solid top
COD
3 for sure.
for its issues.
Does it? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, well, I'm ready.
does it feel like it's Apex versus Slay the Spire?
No.
for this top 5.
No, it's Apex versus Sekiro.
No, I disagree.
I don't
Okay,
agree
then
with
it's
that.
just
I don't think I
Apex.
feel
You
that.
just get rid of Apex.
versus Slay the Spire.
You just
for
get
sure.
rid of Apex.
Now we're here.
I ride the Apex Slay the Spire line. I'm on both teams. Is
Yeah.
part of the problem. I'm just asking questions.
No, I think Sekiro stays for sure.
There's
I think
so
it does for
fucking
sure.
little overlap
Resident Evil
between
stays.
the Apex people and the Slay the Spire
I
people.
know. Well, maybe we see
I
Resident
could
Evil and
lose.
everyone's happy.
No one's disagreeing.
Let's just look at it in silence for a little while.
I mean, here's something for us to discuss. I guess Resident Evil 2. Yes, it's not necessarily a full-on remake, but it is not. I know we don't like talking about this, but it's not new IP.
So good.
It's not something for this year that is new. It has come out for this year.
Resident Evil 2 is not new IP.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's not new IP.
Okay.
We do really like it.
Apex is not new IP. Apex is part of the Titanfall universe.
True, but it's also new in the sense that it's not a rehashing of a game.
Like Resident Evil 2 is new, and these arguments are all going to fly. Don't do this. Don't do this, Max. Don't do this, dude. Don't do this.
You know that Apex is nothing like Titanfall.
But
it's nothing like Titanfall.
Resident Evil 2 in 2019 is nothing like Resident Evil 2 in 90.
Anyone else want to jump in?
Except
you can argue that
I'm on board with
the
you.
main characters have the same names, and they explore a police station.
Like, you can argue, like, for me, the only thing that's similar
Even the
between
story
those games
beats are
the
different.
plot.
Even the plot is different in a lot of ways.
But yeah, I don't know. Like Slay the Spire seems stupid.
The new IP argument doesn't work. If you want to make a different argument, if you want to say that maybe Resident Evil 2 is just kind of the shooting's not so good.
The shooting, I think the shooting is actually. I think you think it's not so good, and then you realize it's the best shooting of the year. And I am not going to back that up with any more talk. Continue on. So everyone stop laughing and just continue on.
Quote, put it on the box when they sell it again. Best shooting of the year.
Yeah.
Boom.
Best shooting of the year, Brendo.
Your gun's not moving, their heads are moving. It's your problem. You're bad at it.
What was the situation with Skyrim a few years ago?
That was literally 8 years ago.
Okay.
A few years ago.
And
A few in a bunch.
I don't
9
remember
years
because
ago?
it was 2011. November 11. It was 11/11/11.
Sure, but we were arguing whether or not, because it had a lot of trouble with...
This is the most sober I've ever been at the end of a Game of the Year show. I do
Hell
not
yes.
know what we're talking
It's
about.
not helping your cause, is it?
Skyrim. It's not helping at all.
All right, well, I bring that up because of the whole control situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. For the same reason we cut Call of Duty.
That's what I was saying.
You can totally.
That game was so
Make
broken
Right? Because
on Xbox.
Oh God!
despite the good
If you're talking about cutting control over Resident Evil 2, we are gonna fucking die here.
No, well,
Just let him talk. Just let him talk. It's okay.
because it's like the
It's
only
like the
thing that's
spider wheel.
It's not happening. Go ahead.
the only thing that's really keeping me from really playing control is like I hear this game is really rough.
Do you have
And
a PC?
I mean, like, no, I don't.
Well,
I don't. It's just PlayStation and
What kind of Xbox do you have?
When is that
regular
ever?
ass Xbox.
When,
When did you buy that
stop
Xbox?
you though?
It really hasn't, but
It's
I'm
an
just
OG
saying.
Xbox.
I'm just trying to get that precedence that we tried to establish with Skyrim.
Oliver, if it helps
Well-
at all, as someone who may be being hung up on that as a means to try it, it's one of my top 5
I know.
games of the year for
I know,
sure.
and that's
And
the
I
thing.
played it on maybe the worst possible console you could.
That's the thing. Is like I'm just trying to figure out what the precedence is with how we decided on Skyrim because I don't remember.
Well, this is
In the
There's a lot of
case of
salmon that year. I think that's about all. I
yeah,
remember.
that is the salmon year.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's definitely the
There's
salmon year.
I don't
never
know.
too much salmon.
Okay.
Right?
We just got Call of Duty because we anecdotally heard the
Yeah,
spec ops were
I
not
know.
good, and
Yeah.
I had the bad experience with the campaign.
I did as well. That's not just you.
Oh,
that's
I don't
right.
want
Actually,
to.
really,
And I know
anybody
that-
that played PC solo experienced those cutscene issues. Really, it was everybody.
I know that there's a lot
And
of
the
like
shaders.
love with Control and like the cool shit that they do and the story beats that they have and the characters that we've even talked about here.
The way it looks, the
But,
way
like,
it sounds, the
the
text
fact-
treatments.
The fact that you guys the fact that you guys have said like wow this game drops to like 5 frames per second.
Yeah.
Like holy
God, I wish.
I wish.
5 times faster.
it's like
Frames a minute.
does that really like support itself as game of the year?
Yes.
Like
As someone
Yes,
who
I think it does.
it's all things considered.
as someone who played it on the good platform, and this is for you guys to decide. I think everything around it
I know.
makes it. It may not be number
so
one,
good.
but I think everything around it
It definitely is going to make top 5.
is good
100%.
enough that if that game ran at 1 frame a second for the entire thing,
I
I'd
know,
probably
and that's
still be way
kind
into
of
it.
the kind of the crazy thing. Like this thing still stands,
Yeah.
even with its technical flaws.
Is there any chance that
be a
Slay
game
the Spire runs like shit?
No chance.
No, it
100%.
runs perfectly.
There you go.
It's just
So
not the type of game that will run like shit.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to like.
Yeah, I
that's
guess
the
when you're just
argument.
trying to lay down a bunt, you don't have to worry about striking out.
What's keeping Sekiro this high? Like, we didn't give it story.
I'm giving Sekiro this high.
We didn't give it art. We didn't give it anything.
Look at how
Music,
high-
style.
It is greater than the
It's
sum.
It's
That
just
is
a good
true.
Souls game. Is that
is-
what's keeping it in this top 6?
Well,
the best
not
Souls
winning
game.
another
The best Souls
category.
game.
shouldn't
It is
affect
the
though.
best Souls game that completely reinvents the series. It takes, I mean, not every mechanic. You're still resting at fires and enemies respawn,
Yeah.
but it takes everything you know, even after Bloodborne, where you're like, wow, they're really going in some different directions. This is wild.
Yeah.
And it totally turns it on its head where the first thing you have to do in Sekiro is untrain everything that you've learned about Dark Souls and teach yourself not to do those things. And it runs, like, it is greater than the sum of its parts. It is not, I don't think, the best looking game by itself.
It's the inverse of Death Stranding.
100%. Actually, 100%.
Yeah.
Where I have no complaints, and the combat is
Also,
so fucking technical.
I really
and
do
tight.
like the idea. I mean, I played enough of it to enjoy, the game as itself, and I can understand what you're saying in terms of like the value of it. Like it's definitely different from Bloodborne. It's definitely
Yeah.
different from Dark Souls, and I do like the dying twice aspect where like you get defeated. Psych, bitch! You come back.
And you can use that strategically.
I have.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
called it the opossum technique.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I fucking faint. No.
The game eventually gives you an item where you can just skip the bullshit and be like, I'm gonna drink this and instantly die.
Yeah.
So that I can get that jump on them afterwards. And I was like, give me 10.
It's. I think Sekiro absolutely has to have
It is the game, I had broke on this genre.
what it
I
does
was
to you,
out.
man.
I was 100% out. Still knowing I'll jump into everyone for 10 minutes as I do and then bounce off it, which I did with Sekiro as well. And this game was just so good that I couldn't stop thinking about it, even when I kept bouncing off it. I kept being like,
even
I'm
when
go try some Sekiro again.
even when playing some other games this year,
Yeah.
I found myself saying, "Man, I wish this was a little more like
Yeah.
Sekiro in some
Yep.
ways."
It was actually, funnily enough, Jedi that made me go back to Sekiro again because I could tell Sekiro was doing the combat part of Jedi so well. Where I was like, I'm just gonna go play Sekiro again and pretend I'm a Jedi. And that's what got me through.
Blocking arrows.
That game is, from a just strictly gameplay perspective, fucking perfect. It's so tight. It's so sharp.
It looks amazing. It
Yeah.
runs. I only play it on PC, but it runs very well on PC.
Yep.
It runs well on PC.
It runs good enough on Xbox to.
I did the English VO, but the performances are very, very good. It's Charles from Red Dead 2 and actors you recognize.
I did subtitles in Japanese VO.
How did you do that? Was it very good?
I don't
also?
know what it seemed.
How very
It seemed
ominous
good.
of you.
Yeah.
It seemed
Seemed
good.
like a samurai
I heard
film.
that was the way to go. The way to do it.
Totally.
From probably some random Twitter account.
It's like old samurai movies then. I think Sekiro absolutely hangs.
It's so good.
It's
Okay,
so good.
so then the only game that we haven't really considered cutting so far, then
Is Outer
looking at this
Wilds.
list, is Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds.
Don't you do it.
Let's get rid of every other game. Slay, Aspire, and Apex and go. Let's keep Outer Wilds.
I think Outer Wilds is. Well, I know Outer Wilds is my favorite video
Honestly,
game
for
of the
me,
year.
when I'm looking at this list, and again, it's just I haven't played Slay the Spire. Apex and Slay the Spire are the ones that I'm looking at.
I'm prepared to
if
let
we're
go
gonna-
of Apex and Slay the
And
Spire.
I feel
as
like
well.
that might be where the
That's where we're at least
Too many
gonna start.
games.
Yeah.
That's where we're
We
starting.
only need to cut one.
Right, but that's
No,
that's why
that's
we're
where
bringing
we're
it
at.
up. Is like I feel like it is going to hinge. I feel like Apex or Slay the Spire will make this list.
I will continue to throw
Maybe not
Control
both.
into that pile, but I feel like that is where it's headed, is Apex and Slay the Spire.
Or we just cut Apex and then decide.
That'd be stupid.
Well, I mean, Slay the Spire is at least number 2.
Exactly. So
I'll agree with
we're just
Kevin.
cut
Number
Apex.
2, you motherfucking crazy person.
Number one, if you're.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
If that-
realistically,
if that's
I
what
would
you
say
mean.
number 1,
If
but
that's what you mean.
Oh, this
That's-
is fuck.
What did you say? Slay the Spire's number 1, or what the
said
fucking
number-
shit?
Absolutely, I
I
did.
don't know what's happening.
I'm gonna stop inviting you to these.
Kev, it's working.
How'd they get you? I didn't talk to you before the show, did I?
I've been here the whole
I
time.
have played all 5 of the all 5 except for Slay the Spire. I've played every single one of those games except for Slay the Spire.
I have played Slay the Spire.
I played every single one of those games.
I played every single one of those games, much less Slay the Spire than any of the other ones. But
I've put, I'd say over
I
30
have
hours into probably maybe over 40 hours into every single one of those.
I've seen
Maybe?
all of those games. I've
maybe not
watched
Outer
Matt
Wilds,
play most of those games.
I can let go of Apex or Slay the Spire.
do you think,
Cut Apex.
Phil?
Cut Apex.
Listen, if you want to have I can concede that maybe Slay the Spire should make top 5 just based on the fact that so many people love this
Yes.
game.
Yeah, it's
they
so good, man.
love this fucking game. So many people
good.
love Apex as well. But personally, me, like, I have just not connected with BRs as much as previous years and stuff like that. We can still give it honors. If you guys wanna kill Apex, I don't know if anybody wants to, keep it alive, but I think making it this far amongst these games, it still is a pretty good honor.
I'm just gonna ask. This is not binding, and I know everyone hates when this happens. Oliver, if you had to pick, we're just gonna feel the room. If it were Apex versus what was the other one we're talking about? Slay the Spire, and
We're gonna play Mafia here and vote.
maybe not, but
Everybody close your eyes.
if you had to, you having played 0 of the games on this list,
Attaboy.
and having really no valid opinion at all,
Yeah.
what do you think between Apex?
Say,
There's
of the list, Outer Wilds.
All right, no, between Apex and Outer Wilds is on the list. Don't worry, Outer Wilds is on there.
sorry, are you cutting Outer Wilds?
Yeah, I would cut Outer Wilds.
What the
Oh,
Yeah.
over the deck building game?
All things considered.
Battle Royale?
I'm binded by an accord with
Oh, shit.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. I'm just here trying to get the best video games of the year.
No, you don't know. You don't know anything about this.
I'm innocent.
I hope we could have left us in the Fettle. If you, I mean, you're probably an Apex man, I would assume.
I would pick Outer Wilds.
Me
to
too.
go, you would keep Slay the Spire.
I'm
over
on
Outer
that team.
Wilds.
There you go.
I can't abide that.
No, me neither.
I can get on that team.
I would keep Outer Wilds
That's
over
4.
both Apex and Slay the Spire.
That's 3.
No.
No,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, you motherfucker.
I keep Outer Wilds over
It's turning against us.
every game on that list.
I think Outer Wilds has to make this list.
Yeah.
It's
It
treason,
can be
then.
5,
Yeah.
but
I'll take it.
I would rather lose any game, even Sekiro over
Sure.
Outer Wilds.
I would
Sekiro's
cut
up.
If I
Apex.
had to.
Well, let it go then.
I know. I feel like Sekiro, like Slay the
Yeah.
Spire. I feel like Slay the Spire is a way tougher sell than Sekiro. So I don't even know
I
why we're having
absolutely
this
do. I
conversation.
absolutely do as well.
but-
I agree with you. I think
Yeah, I'm
way
surprised
better
you guys hate Outer
My-
Wilds more than Sekiro.
No. My point is, Outer Wilds has to make the list.
No, I mean like the rest of the
Oh, yeah.
the room. I'm surprised you guys are more on board with Sekiro than Outer Wilds as people who don't play
Here's my
either
thing.
or
Yeah, no,
almost any video
I'm
game.
kidding.
And this is me like talking to people that don't like Outer Wilds. For those of you guys that are saying this is somebody who's played it in maybe an hour and a half, I think it needs to make at least the top 5 based on the fact that one, it's a pretty damn exciting and solid game and it's unique as fuck.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's not like a regular game that just comes along.
It's very unlike. It is like a modern Myst. It's a reimagining of that type of game, and we haven't seen it in a. When was Myst?
Take away the fact
92? 93?
it's a little indie. It's not as polished as maybe some other ones. Like as far as if you're just looking visually and stuff, I can understand because I looked at other people playing the game just streaming wise. It's like I don't know if I really care about this, but actually playing it and giving yourself a little bit of time to check out what it is and what it has to offer, very interesting. Very neat.
Slay the Spire is very unique.
Fuck
as well.
you and your card game.
It's got 3 very, main game. 4 if you count the beta.
We don't.
But-
We don't
What?
count
It's
betas
legit.
No,
here.
that's not beta. That's
Oh, it's real?
that's-
It's-
yeah,
it's
that's
Not
real
in
game.
2019. It wasn't. Not in 2019. It wasn't.
Whichever way you look at it,
Don't
whichever way you look
Okay,
at it.
okay.
It's-
Cut Apex.
You have
right.
3.
I'm
Cut
okay with cutting
Apex.
Apex.
Cut
Let's just
Apex.
cut the fuck out of Apex. Are we okay with that? Cut Apex.
Yes,
I don't
cut
know.
Yeah, I'm in.
Apex.
Are
No.
we?
Raise your fucking hands.
Why do you want
Yeah.
Apex?
Apex out.
I want
Apex out.
Apex and Slay.
I think Apex
You
deserves this list.
motherfucking assholes. What do you want? Just every game of the year show
No,
you've
I
ever
want, Apex,
done?
I want Apex out. I'm with you.
No, I know. I'm just looking
Yeah.
around at everybody that didn't have their hands
What's wrong
raised.
with Apex out?
I can get in, I guess.
Yeah.
It deserves
Apex?
to be on this list.
It does.
It's
It
not
does,
my
but
game.
it does.
But it 100% deserves to be on this
I want
list.
Apex to be
Yeah.
over. I want Apex to be in over Slay the Spire.
No.
Absolutely. I'm with
No.
you too.
I don't.
No.
I don't think Apex
No.
should be in over Outer Wilds
Neither do I. No,
or
no.
Sekiro
Yes.
or Resident
Yeah,
Evil.
it's,
I agree.
it's Slay the Spire or
Yeah.
Apex.
Apex is unique in BR. It's not unique in gaming overall.
Right.
Outer Wilds is.
Yes.
We're
Agreed.
going
It's a walking
for-
simulator similar to Subnautica or.
Outer Wilds?
Yeah.
I disagree.
No, it's not
I
at all
disagree.
similar to Sub.
It's
also,
a card game.
calling
Bryce.
something like a
it's
walking
a fucking
simulator.
card game.
Yeah.
No, he's talking
Another
about
card game.
He's talking about Outer Wilds.
There's
No, I know, but I'm
Game.
talking about Slay the Spire.
It's a card game. Yeah.
Fuck!
Are we getting rid of Slay the Spire or are we getting rid of Apex?
I think we get. Well, I think we should get rid of Slay the Spire. I feel
No.
like the. I
You
feel
can't
like
go off originality. Slay the Spire is the first deck builder
I literally
Fucking
just
like
heard Bryce
you
say
climb shit
it's
and
just not
fight
simulator.
people.
It is not the first roguelike deck builder by
but-
any means.
No,
It is,
But climbing a tower and fighting people.
No,
and
it is- Were
you actually going
doing
up a
it
tower?
properly?
You're act-
Yes.
because all I saw was
Also,
a deck of cards
that
in front
sounds
of
a
me.
little crazy. You can't go off originality for game of the fucking year.
No, you can. You can.
How does that not factor in?
100%. I'm saying it's more so than Apex.
What is more so?
I
than Apex?
disagree.
Slay is more so than
I
Apex.
disagree. It is a dope deck building game. It's
very hard for me
A
to-
lot of incredibly fun mechanics. Apex came into the space that was dominated. Apex should have failed. Apex was a laughing stock. It is a battle royale that not only is competing against Fortnite, you have to play with 2 other teammates. You have to play. You cannot play it solo, which is fucked. Which immediately turns a bunch of people off.
But then the pinging system made that.
Yeah, and still made it work in a way that was
that's
like,
why.
damn, Apex.
I don't know where Oliver's coming from.
No, I think Apex stands.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I
Slay
think
the Spire.
Apex
Slay the
makes this
Spire's
list
gone.
over Slay the Spire.
I agree.
I don't think that. I don't think that.
I thought we had him. I thought we
that's what
spun
you
him
just
around
said.
enough. that it didn't
I
matter.
think he wants Outer Wilds out, is what you.
Yeah,
what you're
that's
saying.
that's
not
kind
gonna
of.
Which
happen.
I don't think that's the way.
I don't
to
think
do
that's
it.
about to happen.
I agree with everything you guys said about it being super like original and like Outer Wilds should be on there.
Outer
It's not
Wild-
on my top 5, but I respect it being up there.
It's transformative in
Yeah.
a way.
We could get rid of Slay the Spire. Have we thought about that?
Okay. No, fuck
There's an
off.
idea.
Have we
There's an
thought
idea.
about getting rid
There were
of
concessions for
Apex, Outer
Sekiro.
Wilds, Resident Evil 2, Control, and Sekiro?
No, I think we get rid of
Walking Dead,
Slay.
then Walking
In
Dead
that
gets it?
order?
That doesn't happen.
Oh.
No.
Wait,
We just take Slay off here, and we're all.
Detroit?
Oh shit! Red Dead 2 came to PC
Red
this
Dead 2
year.
on PC.
Start throwing more onto it. I'm thinking.
Hell
Is that what we want?
That helps.
No, fuck. Okay.
I mean, if anyone else has their piece to say for Apex or Slay the Spire,
You know what? If it was my way, I would fucking get rid of Resident Evil 2 for my own reasons and keep Slay the Spire.
I could get on board with that.
I would do that. They're not going to go for it. Though,
I know.
is the thing. They're just not.
take the temperature.
I'm down. That's 3.
You're nodding yes. Get rid of Resident Evil 2.
I'll get rid of
Yeah,
Resident
Brando?
Evil.
Yeah, I hate Oliver.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we got-
No,
we got 4?
no. It's been a year and I forgot how we played this.
All of a sudden, I also hate Resident Evil 2.
How we do this?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, I know we don't
it's
like
a bad
doing
game.
this. We don't like talking about it like this way, but Resident Evil 2, you know, it is fantastic. It is cool. It's a I've played enough of it.
Don't say new IP.
It's not. No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you're looking at everything else on that list has kind of. It's fresh.
I mean, there are a lot of deck building games in the world. There are a ton of battle
Matt,
royales.
I'm
in the
arguing
world.
this as somebody who's never played Slay the Spire. Mind you,
know,
That's-
I'm looking for a way out here.
That's the same thing like, oh, there's so many deck building games, so Slay the Spire should have failed. That's
Right,
the same argument
but-
you made for Apex.
No, it's saying that Slay the Spire should stay because it's fresh and unique, but Apex should go because it's a battle royale is ridiculous. Slay the Spire should go because it's a card game, and Apex should stay because it's a new battle royale.
I'm arguing it
just
because
different
one,
thing. But
there's enough resistance here on this podcast sitting at the table for Slay the Spire going to bat to keep it, and also I know that enough people, in general, in gaming, really fucking love that game. I can't speak to it from a personal level because
Slay
I
the
haven't
Spire or
Slay the
Apex?
Spire. Yeah.
Also,
because I cannot. I haven't played it.
you
You
should
know what I
see
mean?
how many people play Apex.
There's a
in
lot of
given
people
week.
playing Apex.
No, for sure. I'm not arguing against
Way
Apex.
more than Slay the Spire.
I'm not arguing against Apex. This is me saying
Yep.
if we're going to cut something, maybe Resident Evil 2. That's what I'm saying. If we
Or
can't,
Control.
if we cannot agree on, fuck you. Who said it? Who said it?
I can see Resident Evil 2 going. I
think
don't
so?
agree with it.
No, do I?
But you know what?
I'd rather
I'd
lose-
love to. You know what? I would
boy.
love to see it go. I think it's a bad
Well,
video game, Oliver.
common sense.
I have an Accord, and my Accord.
Resident Evil cannot be on the top 5.
There it is.
Let's get it off. I would honestly rather lose either Apex or whatever we're arguing, Slay the Spire
Slay the
over.
Spire.
over
I would
Resident
too.
Evil.
I would too.
But that's me personal.
If we're gonna get stonewalled here,
So this is the thing that happens in these: is we run into a situation where me and Warren are pretty passionate about Apex. Very fucking good game. You a little bit too.
I played a fuck ton of Apex. I really like it too.
You too. Slay the Spire. There's the other half of the table, which we've properly sorted by seat, so that we can have this
Nice.
discussion.
Nice.
It did work out pretty nice.
And then fucking all that too.
So what you're saying is use our numbers against them.
So, well, no, I'm saying the passion on both those ends are so strong that maybe there's something maybe we have to look for that third game.
Control.
But is that third game Resident Evil?
Sounds like.
Or is it Control?
Or is it Control?
I think Control.
It's definitely Resident Evil over
It's-
Control.
It's Resident Evil.
That
over
feels
Control.
wrong to me, man.
Why the fuck would it be
if
Control
we-
over
Resident Evil
Evil?
Cut?
I wouldn't be
It's
Sekiro over
Resident
all
Evil.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather keep Control, but if we
I
have
would
to,
keep
I would
Control
rather
over
keep
Resident
I'd
Control.
rather
if
keep
we,
Resident Evil.
rather lose Slay the Spire
Does the
or
fact that
Apex.
you can't even really, and we talked about this a little bit in the story part, but the fact that the story of Sekiro is so forgettable
Kevin.
is that a detractor at all?
Forgettable.
It's
is
considered.
generous.
Yeah, that's very. It's considered. It's totally a part of it. Like, yeah, what is the story of Sekiro? I have no. What's the story of any Dark Souls game or Bloodborne? I don't
Listen,
know.
Control
We
didn't
also-
win
I'm
best
killing
story.
bosses, man.
Discuss the Control had a lackluster story.
Let's remember Fallen Order won best story.
It's tough.
okay?
It's tough to
The
compete with
best story
climbing
of
a
the-
tower with cards. It's real tough to compete with climbing a tower with cards for
true.
story.
I agree.
But
Yeah, does the fact where Slay
my
has
argument
no story.
My argument is that Sekiro and Slay the Spire are similar in that they're both very good mechanically, but not a lot of story to go with it.
That's fair. I agree with that. It's not that. It's game of the year, not best story.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But
That's very fair.
I would think that
Apex
For me,
also no fucking story.
none.
It's a battle royale, yo.
Sekiro
I like the way
would
that
be,
we
would
I
be
like
a
the way
worse
that
option
we
than Slay the Spire.
cruised through best story, just slashing through everything that we had on there, and now we're being like, yeah, but I don't know. The
Sekiro's
story wasn't very good.
I will get rid of Apex or Slay, but
I agree with you. I
I
think
feel
those
so
are the
passionate
two.
about everything else.
I think those are the two. I'm trying to find some middle ground.
I feel like I'm giving two. I feel like I'm so generous. I'm giving 2 games. We're both giving 2 games.
Yeah.
Nobody else wants to meet us.
I know.
Yeah, but the difference is you have
I'm there with you.
You have 5 horses that you want
Death
in the
Stranding.
race,
Yeah.
Death Stranding.
and I have 1.
Death Stranding. It's not about. Listen, I am. Believe it or not, purely in it for the games. I've played every single one of these games and love them all dearly, except maybe Apex. That said, I think Apex is not for me, but deserves to be on this list more than Slay.
Deserves.
You know what? For the
Yes.
sake of cutting, let's just get rid of
It-
Apex.
this
You
is
guys
about-
wanna do it. You guys want to get rid of Apex?
No,
This is
we want to
about-
get rid of Slay the
You wanna
Spire.
kill
Get
Max.
rid of Apex.
No.
This
Or
is about
Resident
our
Evil.
podcast. This
I'm gonna
isn't
go pee real
about
quick.
giving some
Here we go
game
again.
Don't get
some
rid of
sort of
all that.
Let's just do it.
token
Let's get rid
that
of
we
Slay the
think
Spire.
it
Okay.
deserves it.
It's up to each. It's not the game you played the most. Everyone's got to decide, you know?
Well, we're taking pee breaks now, so let's,
I'd be
let's
happy
let
with a
when
let's
break
let it
right
marinate.
Yeah, 3 people go
Let's
to pee.
wait till the
And then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of us like quickly Death Stranding, boys. Death Stranding.
Go pee.
And,
Let's go have a
Fine,
pee.
we won't
Have
talk
a
about.
pee.
All right, seriously. Let's
I can
finish.
get
Slay the
Death Stranding
Spire's
in at
going.
number
Can we
1.
just take a
I can
5?
get Death Stranding.
No,
Why not?
no one can leave
2 people just left.
until we're fucking finished. Because we're so close. This is what happened last year.
It's true.
Yeah.
Only we're like,
we just take a
I'm
breather?
much so.
No, we're not so close.
The
We still
getting
gotta
to the
figure out
top 5
order
is
once we even
usually-
get there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
you're
usually
right.
half of it,
You're
and then
right.
once we
You're
get
right,
to the
yeah.
top 5,
If
Actually, yeah, you're right. It kind of
Yeah.
falls into order once you get the top 5.
no,
I think-
it never does.
I think Brando
A little
and I
bit,
are
a
gonna
little
be
bit.
closer to breaking, but really, no Resident Evil 2 at all. You know?
I love Resident Evil 2.
Why do you want to take it off this list?
Okay, for me, my list is
Dude, The Outer Wilds looks like Breath
Resident
of the
Evil
Wild. Pisses me off. And if
number
you-
1,
And they will have Wild in the name.
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice,
What was Oliver's number 1?
Apex,
Resident Evil, I think.
Wow.
Control,
No.
and Slay the Spire. Cut Outer Wilds. That's my top 5.
Wow.
That's
What do you tell me about Slay the Spire? What do you know about Slay the Spire?
No
First,
idea.
what do you know about Outer Wilds?
I have an accord.
What
guys
is
have
your fuck this? Fuck that. That's stupid. All right, then I have an accord with Brando, and
There you
let's
go.
do the opposite of what Oliver says.
Yay!
Because here we are. I try to have a good game of the year
Wilds!
every year.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So close.
It's not me this year. I
All
know.
right,
So
Oliver, I
close.
want you to take a look at what's happening.
It's
right
not
in
me
front of
this
here.
time, but here we
I got
are.
all fucking night. All right. I want to know for starters.
So do I.
Is
So do I.
is your record pro Slay the Spire or is it anti Outer Wilds?
I'm glad I'm on Brando's
Anti-Outer
team.
Wilds.
Is it?
Yes.
There's an anti Outer Wilds.
Only from Oliver.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was
Because
gonna use the bathroom, but now this
Brando,
shit's happening.
because Breath of
Yeah,
the
we're
Wild.
we're
Outer
drawing the battle lines.
Wild.
Did
Same
you say
word.
that, or did
Ooh,
you?
yeah, I see where you're getting there.
Oh,
Same word. Same word.
Yeah.
Wild in both games.
I'm sorry.
Makes no sense.
We can't have-
I'm sorry as well.
No, I
We
thought it was
can't have
a-
wild things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need
Except
to
the
calm
song,
down,
obviously.
and we need to
The ones that make our hearts sing, we can have.
stop being wild.
Well,
Okay. You can't.
Breath of the Wild, Slay the Spire.
Oh shit!
Dear me.
Isn't it the Outer Wilds?
I'm watching. No.
No,
It's the Outer Worlds.
legitimately not, but yes.
It is the Outer Worlds and Outer Wilds.
So, Breath of the Wild has the exact same amount of words in Slay the Spire
And
as it
the
does
same word. They do not share wild and wilds are different words.
Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got
Wow.
the in it twice.
Once you go back down to Hater Town, Oliver. Know what I'm saying?
Maybe they teach you about words down in
Big
Hater
Dragon's gonna
Town.
come spear me after this
So
big
we're trying
drink.
Resident Evil. Yeah.
I think Slay the Spire should maybe go. If you really want to convince me it's Apex, all right, but
I'm hurt a little bit more that I know that it's an anti-Outer Wilds thing, whereas I thought it was a pro
No, Outer Wilds
Slay the Spire thing in a way that I was
must
like,
be.
I've been there, Oliver. I've made those alliances. You probably were drunk one day, talked to Kevin, and then Kevin said, I don't even remember making that. And I was like, well, something fishy is going on here.
Welcome to Game of the Year.
this is
Vintage Game of the Year.
At some point,
We're so close every time.
I know.
We're right at the finish line.
I know.
this is quite literally the best one we've ever done.
Shatters.
Yeah. I will say,
We're still on pace.
Crashing
Yeah,
down.
we're still on pace.
And
Hey.
also, it's not your turn to ruin again, so you can't do this.
that's
not
true. It should be
ruining
mine.
shit.
I was trying to get really drunk so that I could be the ruiner, and then Oliver came in with, your worst reason ever.
And let's not forget, and I didn't want to play this card, but let's not forget that Oliver is the one who has not played any of these games.
Any of
too.
them.
Exactly.
So-
So
Exactly.
For you to
maybe
fucking
take that with a grain of salt.
And Oliver, let's also remember that last year, I was the last one swinging for fucking Red Dead Redemption. Somehow, a game that I did not
Yes.
super love.
Also, maybe that's fucking having
It's coming back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have been on your side in that and then lost my way somewhere.
we all lost our way.
I think all of us wanted Red Dead on,
Yeah.
and something happened.
So what happened?
I remember hearing you guys
You
did that.
happened.
I remember hearing
This
the
is
results,
Arthur Morgan
and I was like,
talking
how
from
the
beyond
fuck
the-
didn't Red Dead 2
Yeah.
make top 3?
Yes.
It's the way she goes, bud.
Hear me out.
what
Hear
she
me
fucking
out.
goes.
We fucked this one up worse than ever. We cut Apex and Slay the Spire, put Red Dead Redemption 2 in.
That's right.
Okay, no, real
It
talk.
came on a PC.
I don't think we can do.
Not Red Dead,
Right,
Dead, but
okay.
real talk. Is there
Fire Emblem.
if we get rid of Apex and Slay the Spire, is
Then you
there
put in Fire
another?
Emblem.
I'll dance.
Maybe
that.
it's Fire
I'll
Emblem.
dance that dance
I will
with you,
do
Bryce.
that. I will
Maybe
do
it's
that.
Fire Emblem.
Holy shit.
No, we're not adding more back on. I think this is a very good list. What we have right now.
I mean, it's not a final like they're strike
yes,
through. Remember, they're
yes.
not really off.
Yeah.
Would it make you feel better if we cut 2 and all of a sudden accidentally had 4 and were forced to add back on?
Yeah. Oh, whoops.
And picked a different game.
By default.
Whoops. Wait, that's an accident.
if I could get behind that, if we feel that Fire Emblem over Apex and Slay the Spire,
So
should
I
make it on this
don't.
list.
I'm just trying to find.
Neither do I.
I'm
But
trying to find something.
I know, me too.
The only issue,
a
and
little bit
again,
of purchase here.
I want to have concessions here, but honestly, like Fire Emblem over Apex as an impactful.
Yeah,
I will concede
because we
Slay the Spire.
No.
I'm not even somebody
Time
who really
out.
likes
Somebody
Apex.
stop talking.
Hang on.
It's gonna be-
This
stop
might be
talking.
the turning point.
Shush.
Kev, if it's
No, don't-
Outer
let
Wilds,
him-
no. If it's anything else, maybe.
Let him talk.
You just Cesar Milan me right now. You just went
I really want to know what he's going
fucking
to say.
dog whispered.
Yeah.
To number 5.
that's not
Oh,
Why do we even?
I was fighting for 2. I have conceded down to number 5.
I'll take it.
Okay, and then Apex at 4. Control at 6, and we're good.
No.
You can't start arguing rankings until we have 5 games.
I'm saying
I
that
still
I am good
we're
with
hung up on
any
this.
games. As
You're
long
in-
as Slay the Spire is one
It's
of them.
between Apex and Slay the Spire. I think we can all
And that's
agree
why
on
I
that.
was like, fuck it, let's kill Apex. And then everyone was like, no, Apex.
Resident Evil for the cut.
I want to toss Control out the window, actually.
Fuck you!
Yeah, I think
Now you're talking.
I think we'll
Now you're talking.
firm opposition.
I mean, like, what is Control taking home tonight? I think it's gotten its due.
No, I think
Did
it.
it?
I think
No.
it,
It didn't,
was
Has it not?
actually.
because
Star Wars took everything.
it did not take best
No.
story
Yeah, Star
because we
It
agreed.
lost to Star Wars.
Yeah, it didn't take best story because we kind of agreed it didn't fit. It didn't take best looking because it ran like fucking shit. It hasn't taken us.
It sounds like
has
all
it taken
negatives
anything?
that would
It's
hurt
not-
it
the
from
best
being
taken
game of the year.
I don't think it
New
did.
camera.
I think it placed on visual.
music?
It
or
placed
something.
on
Yeah,
visual.
it did place somewhere, but it has its issues. It definitely has its issues.
I think it is placed on visual, and I maybe a newest character did Ati. No, Ati didn't fucking make it, did he?
He was
made
number
the top
2.
I think Gotti made it.
Ati made the top 3.
Honored to be nominated.
I remember that.
Number
Yeah, that was
2.
yesterday, right?
I'm okay with it. Honestly.
Soon.
In the grand scheme of things of where we're at now, I'm okay with Control having.
We're going in circles, gang. We're going in circles.
This is where we usually get. We have to find.
People got to be willing to make concessions. I'm more than willing. I've
Here's
given
where I'm coming-
3 of these
Taking
games
your
that I'm
lead.
willing to
I'm
lose.
taking a leave, Ken.
Here's where I'm coming from. Fuck. Shit. And that's it.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Fucking box of pepperoni.
Tetris 99.
I'm okay losing Apex,
Yeah,
but
lose
I know a lot
those
of
two.
people are
Tetris
not.
99 back on.
I'm okay losing Apex, but I know a lot of people are not.
Sure.
I will lose Apex. My only requirement is Slay in the top 5.
If we lose Apex,
I'm
Slay
okay
will
with
make
Slay
the
in
top 5
because a lot of people really fucking
It will
like that.
by
Yeah.
default make the fucking top 5.
I will say this. I will concede on Apex if Kevin concedes number 5, like you said he would.
Yeah,
I said I would.
sure. Book it at
I said I
5.
would.
Yep.
Slay's got to be 5 then.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
fine
he's
with
saying. All right, we'll wait for
I'm
Bryce to
okay
get
with
back.
that.
It's got to be 5.
Of
Yeah.
course, I do remember one year.
No, you don't.
I got you to make
you
this
don't.
exact same concession, and then as soon as we got into the top 5, you stabbed me in the back and said, "Fuck that! That game is the best. I'm not agreeing anymore."
Allegedly. Like everything Kevin says, allegedly.
The one thing I
Show
will
me the
give
proof.
for Slay the Spire, as someone who has not played it and thinks it's a card game for babies, is that I kind of agree. Like we have this should not be how it matters, but it kind of matters. Is we have half a table that literally this is their horse in the race. And they're all very passionate about this one thing.
Everybody else kind of has
where they grabbed all of them, whereas we have kind of a much more spread, even interest in a lot of these other games. Where I'm like, there's a lot of people think that that's the only game that matters out of these 6 games.
Sorry.
Oh no. Finish your point.
Oh no! Now another person's leaving. We can't have
Also go pee.
consensus. So Bryce, we are as of right now losing Apex on the caveat that Slay the Spire is locked at 5. It must be the 5th game.
It can rise no higher.
It cannot rise higher. Are we
That's
okay with
not
that?
to
Happened
say-
to cutting Sekiro and Resident Evil. People were on board with cutting
No.
Resident Evil for
Stop it.
a while.
I was.
there.
What do you
for a bit,
love
but-
Apex? What are you trying to keep Apex on this list?
A lot of people like Apex. 3 people are very passionate
What
about
the
that.
fuck is happening?
That's a
never
horse in the
disagree.
race
I'm
for
not
3
passionate
people.
about it. I just understand that it is worthy being up here and being in discussion because of the
It's
fact.
very good.
What is happening?
It's very good. It's a
Very
very good video
passionate.
game. You're not
It's-
wrong.
No matter what I say, I'm like, we should cut card games. Like, Apex really good. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Apex
You like
is
reach
good.
that point
We
of
should
like,
cut Slay the
maybe
Spire.
there's
No,
concession.
Slay the Spire's fucking awesome. Let's keep. Yeah, you're right. Let's cut Apex. No, Apex back in. What is happening? Bryce, we're cutting Apex and we're putting Slay the Spire at 5th.
If it were up to me, Apex
like
would be
that.
above Slay the Spire just
I'm
because
fine
of
with
the
that.
actual impact that it has on gamers
Yes.
as a whole and our culture as a whole.
Yes.
It did some fucking crazy shit.
That is
People like
my-
to think that it's unoriginal. It's not. It
is my
reimagined that shit.
argument
It made
as
it
well.
vertical as shit. It made the actual map like really interesting and not just boring. It took Titanfall weapons that we already knew and brought it in. It added in mechanics as far as pinging, which other games copied. It did a lot of really cool shit in the
totally-
VR genre. So
right there with you, buddy.
And I'll agree to that too. Where I am at
Yep.
is that Control. runs
Control
like
is
shit.
not even discussion. Control is you're having a completely different discussion right now.
But that's where I'm stuck.
How
It's
do you
Control-
feel about Apex or Slay the Spire?
Both? Yes, both in top
All
5.
right.
Control is the one I want out.
It's not going to happen.
Cut both Jedi in.
No.
The only reason
That's also. I'm going to stonewall
people
that
aren't
one
fans
too.
of Slay the Spire is people are saying it's a derivative card game. There's nothing else like it. It's
They are both incredibly
and
unique.
the fact
They-
that there's just card games, if there's cards involved, it doesn't mean it's.
But Apex, everyone has to admit, Apex did a thing in a space that it should not have been able to do.
There's-
It revolutionized the most PUBG and Fortnite, the 2 biggest video games in the entire world ever. No game has ever in the history of human existence
and that's why
been as big
that
as
should be
Fortnite.
in the top 5.
And Apex, I also agree with all that, but we gotta
Yeah.
lose fucking one of these games, you guys.
yeah, we got to.
And
We literally
it seems
got to
like
cut
everyone-
one game in order for this.
It seems like the Apex supporters, Warren and Brando and myself
And Max.
and Max are okay
I'm behind
losing
Apex.
it,
I
provided
see.
Slay the Spire takes 5.
Don't
Yeah,
go,
I'm
don't
okay
go
with
up
that.
that road.
Are we good? I'm gonna take
okay with
Apex
that.
up. Bryce, is that okay?
No.
I'm with you. Well,
That's so
Okay, wait,
harsh.
wait.
we're just going in circles
And I
then,
thought
though.
we recently argued we're not talking about top 5 yet.
Well, this
We're
Placements
talking about
happen.
top 5.
Bryce, it's
Or
worth,
six
noting
on
that,
the
it's
list.
worth noting that this was Kevin's agreement.
This was Kevin's agreement.
No, we're talking about at least getting the games for top 5. Not the
would you
ranking
do
of top
then?
5, but definitely we got to will it down. Otherwise, this will never go anywhere
I never
else.
once agreed to this whole thing.
Yeah, no, I.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's keep going in circles then.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Why is Resident Evil still in here?
Because nobody wants to
because
take
it's
it
one
off.
of the best 5 games of the year.
No one's
because it-
argued valid points.
Because it plays
towards
incredibly, because it
Yeah.
tells an incredible story, because it
incredible.
takes a
Looks
game
great.
that is literally unplayable today. Well, not literally, but
Yeah.
practically
It's not very
unplayable
fun to
today. And it modernizes it in a way that someone who has bounced off Resident Evils before, Resident Evil 2 is an awesome game. It is a dope ass horror game.
Okay.
And
valid points.
and it alone propelled me through Resident Evil 4, which is a game that came out
Yeah, I've never played any
in
of them.
not-
2004,
and it pulled
15
me
years
in.
ago.
I'm
I
not
didn't
going to
wanna
like
play
it, but I think Resident Evil doesn't belong in the top 5.
That's crazy.
I think
I
think
agree
it's a
with that.
That is
reimagining
fucking
of an IP that already exists, and I know they don't like that.
I think
The IP.
I think Apex is a reimagining of Fortnite.
I think you're fucking crazy. I'm not even going to look
I
at
think
you.
I think there's one game on here that didn't run very well.
reductive, right? You can be so
I think there's one game on this list that was pretty
Starts
broken.
with the
That
C.
didn't run good.
You mean the first 3 weeks of Apex, where people were buying
ran fine.
real money transactions and not getting their shit?
I want Apex in this
And
list.
you guys were crashing all the
Apex was
time.
bad when it
and
got released.
is that what you're referring to?
I mean, no.
I mean, they did fix it, and
They did fix it.
Control
Yep.
still fucking
Control
runs like
Control
balls.
runs like garbage now.
But Control must get its
Still.
due, and this is the place. It's great in the sum of sports.
If I'm the only one holding back, I guess the Slay at 5 and cut Apex. I guess.
No, apparently
against
Warren is
one?
also.
I mean, I'm not gonna hold
and
things
Oliver
up, but
has a completely different.
I feel like
take
Apex
as well.
is top 5.
I will do that as a top 5.
What are you getting rid of then?
Apex.
Oh,
No, that's the opposite of what he just said.
Were you saying you're keeping
I
Apex?
will do that. Get rid of Apex. Slay at 5.
That's not what
And
he
then
said. That's the
decide the
opposite
other
of what he
four.
said. That is
all
the opposite of
right,
what
all
Warren
right. Just
said.
to get stock. Let's see. Cut
We're already
Apex, Slay at
stuck.
5.
Sure.
Cut Apex, Slay at 5. Cut Apex, Slay at 5.
Fine.
Cut Apex,
Yes.
Slay at 5.
That was what we needed.
Cut Apex, Slay at 5.
yeah, I feel bad for Warren.
Well, there it
because
is.
Apex should be on this list.
It-
But I
it
just don't
should.
know. I don't know the other way through.
It should. I don't know the other way through. I'm with you too. But cut Apex, Slay at 5. That seems like the most talked about concession that we can make to progress shit.
Or
Stop shaking your head! Control staying, motherfucker!
what if
I
there's
think-
not a top
Control
5 because 5's just a slap in the face. We're going to
Brando.
top 3. We're going to cut 3
I-
games here.
Stop it.
Okay. Moment of
Apex,
weakness.
Slay
Moment of
out of
weakness.
here, and then one more out. And they're just anonymous.
Oh god! It's just getting
I'm
so
actually
much
kind of
harder.
okay with that.
Apex.
Because
Slay,
5
and
is
Control.
shit. I will take a mysterious number instead of.
What? So hey,
We're cutting Apex, we're cutting Slay, and one more game. Then we're doing top 3.
What the fuck? No, we're not.
Oh, we're changing the format. No, we're
Right
not.
into the top 3.
No, we aren't.
That's a top 3. We're
What
good.
the fuck are you guys saying? No, we're
We almost
not.
got there. We almost got there.
I like your out of the box thinking.
Solve this
That's a
problem.
good fix. No, that's a good fix.
I think that's
fuck
Get
it.
two of the spots.
2 games that stay on our list. Fuck 3 or 5.
When it comes time to do that, Brando, you let me know.
Okay.
Give me a signal and we'll pull
I
our
got
shoots.
like an hour.
We'll get
baby.
the fuck out of here.
An hour.
We got there.
Are we
Where we're at
doing
now.
that?
So we're getting rid of Control, right?
Cut
Or-
Apex. We're cutting
Yeah, okay,
Apex.
cut Apex. Sure, fine, whatever.
I'm fine
Can we
with
do
cutting
that?
Apex.
Is everyone
I'm
has
not,
everyone's
like,
resolve
fine
weakened
with cutting
enough
it, but-
that
Can we do that,
Apex is
Warren?
going?
I think that's the
Under-
wrong move, but I'm not going to stop it.
Yeah.
So
Runner up Apex.
Me too.
I don't know.
I think it's pretty short-sighted.
Again,
Forward.
remember, Oliver, this is not the Outer Wilds battle. This is the Apex battle. If you don't want Outer Wilds on this list, this is not the. I mean, I guess it
this
is.
is kind of when you have to speak
I
up.
guess it is, but
Yeah.
your Outer Wilds
Oliver
should
flipped to
go,
Control at some point. So.
and now Control should go.
You're right.
I don't know how
Let's
much weight
get
it holds.
rid of Apex and let's put it in Death Stranding. Am I right, guys?
No.
No.
We have to get rid of one more game.
Is this it? Is this the
I'm
Death
just being
Stranding
silly.
time?
I'm just being silly.
Is everyone okay with me getting rid of Apex?
I'm okay with that.
I'm not okay with it. I'm okay with it with a concession.
It doesn't make me
Runners
That
up.
we're having
No.
Slay
The
the Spire
concession is
5.
Everybody
Slay at
feels
5.
gross.
This is like every game of the
Slay
year.
the Spire isn't number 1.
Like every game of the year, we all feel disgusting about ourselves.
I like it. The only reason this works for me is that we'll just never have to hear the word "Slay the Spire" again for the rest of the night.
Here's the
You're
thing.
not wrong.
Here's the thing.
You're
And,
not
and hopefully this will make you as well, because I think we're both in the same like-mindedness here with Apex. a lot of people fucking love Slay the Spire. I can't get down with it just because I'm not super crazy into card games in general. I think Apex did a lot more in terms of like AAA games and gaming as a whole. I think it did a lot more impact. However, if we're going to pick something else that is also different from Apex, that had a very big impact on the gaming world as a whole, Slay the Spire did. I will not stop hearing about Apex or Slay the Spire from a lot of different types of people. That's the only reason I'm okay with it.
I feel like it's super tough in this argument because
It is.
I haven't played Slay the Spire.
Neither have I. I'm talking.
Kev hasn't played.
I would recommend
Apex, and
I might honestly play Slay the Spire after
This one
because
feels.
it's just a lot of like ignorance for the other side
Yes.
to not be able to really make an actual call.
Exactly.
The number 6
Yeah.
cut is always like this,
Yeah.
honestly, and it sucks.
And it feels
and
like
eventually we
we've never had
have to
one-
make that decision. You know?
It's never
Totally.
quite come down
so
like this.
few people played both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it came down to 5, like where it came down to the last pick, and it was like we were over here, and I was like, Slay the Spire seems like this dime a dozen card game, and you guys were over there being like, Apex is another battle royale, and you had kind of dipped your feet in both, but right from Jump Street, we're like, oh, okay, they're both pretty good, and like, I don't know, Apex it got done dirty, but I
Put a
hope that
5.
the ceiling, sealing that game at 5, sealing Slay the Spire at 5, and being like, you as a fledgling game can grow no higher than this, no matter what happens for the rest of the night.
What are you
I can
tapping
take
there?
solace in that.
You just type
5's
numbers
always a
or
gimme
what?
spot. See Celeste.
Why is the oh, there we go.
It always fucks up.
I worked hard for Celeste last year.
Just so you guys can react to it, just game time art in the chat saying a game from 1998 is going to make a 2019.
I had a chuckle at that, yeah. That's good.
It's ignorant art. That's a real
Yeah.
boomer thing to
Yeah.
say, bud.
Yeah.
That's a real boomer thing to say there, partner.
You can't.
Hey, I'm just warning you.
Don't you do it.
I'll maybe get the salmon out.
Let me get the salmon up, buddy.
All
All right, now we have to come up with a top 5. That felt bad. That felt
Yeah.
gross.
That's
That felt like I
the
cut
wrong
off a
That's
piece
the
of.
wrong move.
As
Now I
long
got a
as
piece of
everyone hates
myself,
himself
man.
equally, we should
Yeah.
maybe are okay.
It's not as bad as Red Dead 2 not making top.
It got.
Yeah, it's not
so
true.
bad.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
In past
That's a
years.
good point.
That's
Well,
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You still
Still
think
time.
about it.
You like Red Dead, or no? You like Red Dead and hate Zelda. I'm the inverse. I love Zelda, hate Red Dead.
You're right.
So
Let's
we
get rid
we
of
have to
Slay the
oppose each
Spire.
other always.
Red Dead 2 PC.
Yeah.
Let's get it in there. 5 spot. Am I right?
No, Red Dead 2 on PC fucking sucks ass. The crap. Fuck that.
True.
It doesn't deserve it.
Apex got its due. It definitely got its due.
That's a fucking great game.
Yeah, and did incredible things in a space that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Changed my opinion. Well, not of a genre. Battle Royale genre has always been good, but
Yeah, I
Got
did not
me
think there were
in,
any
yeah.
battle royales for me, but Apex is.
I saw a
Yeah.
couple of people in chat too. Like it might have been only one person, but saying that like Apex was super unreal. I'm like, fucking, are you crazy?
I mean, you can be reductive about any game like
Exactly.
that, right?
I'm just saying it did crazy things in a space that is super
Totally.
competitive.
Things that. The big takeaway is it did things that Fortnite later copied.
Yes,
which is
other
like,
games in
you know
space
it is
copied.
successful when.
Yeah.
Now I have to put these in
Go home
a
tonight and
order
play some
of
Apex.
5.
It'd be one thing if it was just like, oh, they improved on one thing.
Stop it.
Just stop it.
Change that 5.
Tombstone you right
You're
now.
lucky it made 5.
that shirt is ugly.
That's right. Yeah, it's starting to lose a little bit of its luster, a little bit of its shine.
How dare you?
Too far. I'm sorry.
I would.
How do you feel with the order that they're presented in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's awful close
I'd
to
probably
perfect.
flip control and Sekiro.
Control.
Sure.
I'd
Oh,
put
wait.
control 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Resident Evil is 2?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would
Be a
want
friendly top 5? We can't have a friendly
No.
top 5.
It's so good. Resident Evil 2
Hang on.
is so good.
What if we? Because I agree with Warren. What if we flip 3 and 4? Talked about maybe flipping 2 and 3, and then called it a day.
Okay, this is all hypothetical. This is all hypothetical.
Resident Evil does not get number 1.
Hypothetically speaking, well, no, it would
I'll
be number
push
2.
for Resident Evil for number 1.
Res gets 4.
I'm looking at what you're typing. I already have a different
That's a
way
very good
in my
game.
mind.
Hypothetically,
Well, that you haven't played.
This is what we're discussing.
Yeah, yep.
Not
Couple
mine.
Go
hours.
ahead. We're really close though.
We're there.
Outer Wilds 1. You don't want Resident Evil 1. Fair. Outer Wilds 1. Resident Evil 2.
You screamed
Yeah.
for control.
Call this a night.
there's
and
no
you're
way
happy of it
that
at
Resident Evil 2
4?
is 2.
Control can't be 1
Oh boy,
though.
you might have an
I
uphill.
don't-
You might have a
4.
real uphill battle.
I
here.
could see
guess I'm gonna
Sekiro
fight for
at
it.
2 and Resident Evil at 3.
Sure. Yeah. You want to
I
swap
could
second
say-
and Resi?
Sekiro 1 and
Fuck yeah.
Outer Wilds 3.
And
Yeah, I would rather see Sekiro at
a
2.
little low for Outer Wilds. But I can see maybe Sekiro 1, Outer Wilds at 2.
It's still a little weird for me that control is below
I'd rather
Resident
flip
Evil
those.
2.
It's just because of the. It's new.
as a standalone, like, I don't know, man. Control resonated with me more, but like, if I just played Control on a PlayStation and I just played Resident Evil 2 on a PlayStation, I'd be like, man, Control fucking runs like fucking shit. What the fuck?
I'll concede that.
But I
will
did
concede.
not have
Big
that.
pile of poop.
God damn it!
It has
Why
that
the fuck
factor,
did it
man.
have to run like shit for
Okay.
a lot of people?
Okay.
Because it's a
No.
next gen
So
game. 'cause
Apex-
it's
Can
ahead
you
of-
imagine how much better that would be in the standings?
Number
if
one
it-
with a bullet. You know what I'm saying?
It's ahead of its time, man.
So Apex at 4, Sekiro 3,
Stop it.
Outer Wilds 2,
Stop
or no,
it.
Outer Wilds 1, and then
All right.
Resident
Put
Evil 2.
Sekiro. No, don't put that.
Let's
in.
just see how it looks. Let's just see how it looks. Let's just see how it looks. Let's just see how it looks.
Just smell it. Just smell it.
Yeah.
You sound
Get up
like
to
a
the team and
fucking
smell it.
car dealer right
Is it
now.
gonna be like that other?
Hey, let's just see how it feels. Let's just see how it feels.
Just sit in it for a while.
Yeah, just have a
Take it for a
taste.
spin.
You need you call me.
I like it. I'd flip 1-3.
I'd flip 2, 3.
1-5.
Sure. No, that 5 is locked. 5 is hard
flip-
lock.
Oh, is it?
Hard 5 is.
Oh.
Yes, that was the
hard
whole
luck.
thing. What do you mean? Oh, is it?
I'd
Is
flip
it? That
4
was
and
the
5.
whole
All right.
thing.
Flip
this a
Sekiro
regal?
and Resident
Stop
Evil.
it.
Flip Sekiro and Resident
I
Evil.
like it.
Do we feel good about that?
I like that.
You know,
Flip
I'll do
Sekiro and
1-3.
Resident Evil.
And then Control
Resident Evil so
and
much.
Resident Evil.
Have you played? You should play Resident Evil.
If they're not going to back down on Resident Evil, flip it, put it at 3. Sekiro deserves to be above Resident Evil because it is so
Yeah.
good for what
Now I
it is.
do.
Have you played? Just out of
Hey,
curiosity,
wait.
have you played Resident
Again,
Evil 2?
1-3.
Have you played the new?
Yeah.
I
No, I haven't beaten it, but I played it.
That's
Did you
a fuck-
do?
that's
Did
a
you do?
fucking
Did you do
list.
like playthrough? Did you play Claire or
Not full
or Lynn?
through.
That's a fucking list.
I'd flip 1-2. I'd flip 1-2.
as well.
1-3.
No, we just.
It's like, okay, so I love both those games, and 1-2 would not be my hill to die on. I could see 1-2 flipping.
Sure.
What? Where is this 1-2 flip from so many people who didn't play
They all
Sekiro
hate
coming
Resident
from?
Evil. They all hate Sekiro. They all
No,
hate
it's
Outer
the
Wilds.
it's the 1-2 flip
I know.
that is freaking me out.
None of them have played it, and they all hate both. We're like, let's flip,
Sekiro.
man.
I didn't beat it. I didn't.
No, that's what I mean. It's just a lot of people who didn't play Sekiro being like, Sekiro's definitely better than Outer Wilds.
No.
I don't like.
My theory is because Sekiro
No,
is
Sekiro's
most
not better than
similar
Outer
to
Wilds.
Slay the
I don't think so
Spire, so
either.
it's
No, no,
kind
no,
of
no.
like a win.
My logic is that I've played
Sekiro's
Outer
not better
Wilds.
than Outer Wilds in terms of. I mean, I think really a new game, a
Everything.
game that came out. Fucking
Yeah.
get rid of new game.
Yeah.
Outer Wilds. Even playing an hour and a half of it, I can understand that game is unique as fuck.
Right. And I will say right now there were 2 games this year that I thought about nonstop after I finished them. My 2 changed my life games, to take a page out of the Talking Reckless handbook, are 1-2 right now.
I will say
If
right now
people
too.
want to flip them, I won't lose
That's
my
my
mind.
logic for
but-
flipping because I didn't play Sekiro, but I played Outer Wilds, and I don't
What are
think
you?
that's
What are you trying to?
game
What are you trying
of
to
the
flip?
year.
Oh,
1-2.
Flipping 1-2.
You
But why-
just don't think Outer
I
Wilds
don't
is
think
game of the year.
it's-
But having not
should
played,
be game of the year.
not played Sekiro,
And having watched it and seeing
I was
how
going
it
to say
plays.
that if I hadn't played Outer Wilds, you guys would be definitely arguing against me again too. But having played
brought
it,
you into the fold.
At the same time, though, I don't know if I hate it at number 1 either. Like I'm not. It's the same thing. I'm not going to die in that hill either.
the reason why I think Sekiro should be at 2, even though it is as good as it is, Outer Wilds is more unique. It brings something new to the table in terms of, like, yes, Sekiro flipped things around in its genre of Dark Souls and Bloodborne and things like that. But Outer Wilds brings something new in general, I think.
What is it?
But what does it bring that's new in general compared to Sekiro? Like, expand on that.
I think the whole crazy uniqueness with the planets. I think the fucking the story that can be experienced, like we've talked about the entire podcast, as far as in any order. The fact that
But these concepts all
they do.
exist.
I mean, they do exist. I'm saying,
they're
but
not unique to.
then it makes
Right?
you're making arguing a lot harder.
Yeah,
Right?
No,
but
there-
you have to
there's not a
quantify,
game-
you have to
there's
quantify
not a-
statements. You can't
there's
just
not
say a thing and then not quantify
There
it.
is
no,
not
for
a
sure.
game on this list that does something like where it's like,
Right.
I've never seen this before.
I would
in
say-
my life.
No, I'm not
would
saying.
say-
I'm
but
not
I agree
saying-
with you.
I'm not saying that Outer Wilds.
I
Maybe
agree
I'm
with
explaining
you.
it poorly. I'm not saying that Outer Wilds does something revolutionary we've never seen before ever. But if you're talking about between Sekiro and the Souls genre and Outer Wilds and other games that compare to it, I think Outer Wilds, based on the hour or hour and a half that I've played of it, is more impactful and more unique.
I think I would.
I agree.
Would you? What other games are we comparing Outer Wilds to in this? Like, we're comparing, Sekiro through
I think
Bloodborne, Dark Souls.
Subnautica is the
Subnautica's
closest
a
I
good
can
one,
get.
too.
Completely different.
But even Subnautica
is a survival building game.
That's
It
what
is
I'm saying.
100% different.
That's the closest I can get because I can't find a good comparable to Outer Wilds, which is my point for why it should be number one.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's fine. Just quantify it. Quantify it is all.
Yeah, that's
like
that's
saying
all
a thing
I'm
is
saying.
unique, but then not being able to say what is unique about it is
My
Yes, I agree.
saying it is unique is the fact that I cannot find it comparable.
Sure.
Yeah. Where the closest one I could is Subnautica.
I'm talking about Majora's Mask, brother.
Majora's Mask has a very similar element. There is what it takes one element from Majora's Mask.
Yes,
I
would compare it to Myst or Riven or the old or the Witness. Actually, is probably what I would compare it to the most of this kind of discovery style puzzle game where
But
the
Witness
mechanic is very different. But
right, yeah, the Witness is so cut and dry. Puzzle 1, puzzle 2,
it
puzzle
totally
3.
is.
There's not as much discovery and kind of putting the pieces together in your head at the same time.
little bit
You
of it,
don't build
but
a story in the
you're
Witness.
right.
at
You're totally
all.
right.
Yeah. There's my list.
But I also think Sekiro Sekiro is so the part where if you've played those other games, it is a detriment. You have to unlearn everything you've learned. You cannot be blocking.
I get that. I think Outer Wilds would counter with the fact that, oh shit, there's this 22-minute loop. That's fucking cool as shit.
There's a 3-day loop in Majora's Mask though. Like,
Yeah,
but do you see what like you can do that with anything. If you just say there is this thing and then don't, I can just do it right back to you. Do you understand?
I still don't think Sekiro, just without having specifics to be able to be like, this is why it's completely more unique.
The posture bar, the way that the entire combat system is, it is now active instead of passive. Whereas Dark Souls and Bloodborne is very passive. You're waiting for enemies to attack. You have to parry them in Bloodborne or block them in Dark Souls. It completely flips that on its head where you are always attacking. You cannot hold block. You are always in on them. Do the enemies respawn when you visit a thing? Yeah, they do. They also do it in Star Wars Fallen Order.
I feel like he wants Sekiro as number one.
I do. Yes,
it's 100%.
I've kind of been talking. I've kind of been talking to this because everyone.
It's kind of where
everyone is just saying broad statements that I don't think Slay the Spire should be on this list because other games use cards. Is what everyone is saying.
It's a very difficult thing to have this conversation
like, it's
about.
kind of what I'm trying to get at,
Yeah.
and everyone is just saying that I think you guys are being reductive, and I'm trying to. Let's have the conversation. I'm not trying to be Mr. Shut it down. I'm not trying to be reductive.
What if I just agreed? Sekiro number
Cool,
1.
yeah.
Outer Wilds number 2.
Sure.
Cool.
I think Outer Wilds is my number one game of the year.
I kind of don't care anymore. Let's put it wherever. Whatever. Whatever. Do what you want. Do what you want.
Okay.
I will
Is it
remove
our
myself
game of
from the
the year?
conversation.
Yeah.
Then the list is good.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
I like it.
Does anyone feel the list is not good? Oh, so when 40 minutes ago when I'm like, the list is good, you guys, and everyone's like, no, it's not.
No.
Okay,
I'm pretty on board
Oliver,
with this.
what does your shitting and grin have to say here at the end of Game of the Year 2019?
Switch 1 and 3.
What?
What? No.
1 and
no.
3.
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
Crows.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, guys.
Resident Evil.
That was my timer for Game of the Year.
It's over.
Well, that's the show.
Outer Wilds wins. We ran out of time.
Hey.
No, I'm
Yeah,
totally.
like,
I mean, we're here. I'm totally fine to have the discussions of if people think.
I like
Outer Wilds very much
Switch.
touched me on an emotional level that
The
Sekiro
problem-
touched me on a level where it's like where I felt very accomplished. It is probably the hardest video game I've ever beat, and I wouldn't have beat it if it wasn't superb. But Outer Wilds definitely the way I got to experience all those planets for the first time was just a series of 4 different holy fucking shit. And then as you got into the next layer of all those planets, holy fucking shit. And as you got to, and then like I said, even though it didn't win best moment, I was just prepared for that game to fucking shit the bed on the landing, and it fucking stuck the landing.
I think that's where I'm coming from. Is somebody again ignorantly hasn't beaten the game for Outer Wilds. I think that's where I'm coming from as far as like where I'm saying it's the most unique, whatever. But I want to hear you arguing maybe against yourself in terms of. No, listen to me.
Contradict myself. Never.
Listen to me. No, not arguing
never
against yourself,
have.
but you've beaten both Outer Wilds. You've beaten both Sekiro.
That's true. Yep.
So I would like to hear you quantify why you think Sekiro is better than Outer Wilds.
Sekiro takes this genre that people know they don't like, that Brando knows he doesn't like, and Brando played through Sekiro in a way that is Brando. You are maybe even considering Neo 2 is coming out? I'm like, Ring of Elden is coming out.
Neo was my bread and butter before I liked any of these games. But yeah, no. It definitely. I mean, I don't know yet until I play another one of these games. It's definitely been like, maybe I can get into these games, or maybe I'll then go into them and be like, "This isn't Sekiro."
Yeah,
this
it's fair.
isn't Sekiro.
It's totally fair.
There's no way for me to know. You could be dead on. This could be the Souls game that makes me beat every Souls game, or this could be the one Souls game I beat at the end of the day.
And back to our Apex discussion, like Sekiro does things so incredibly, and that stamina parry system, like Fallen Order does that 1-to-1. Fallen Order fucking stole that 100%, lifted it out of Sekiro. Was like, this is a great way to do.
I know it did, yeah.
One hit combat, which is a thing we've never had. Like it's like Samurai Showdown, but kind of built
weird.
out into this 3D thing.
I know it's weird comparing the two games, Outer Wilds and Sekiro. I just wanted to hear where, because if you are so strongly for Sekiro, I just want to hear why.
It is.
Again,
it is much greater than the sum of its parts. Where,
if we look at the list that's on that fucking Word doc right now,
but yes, I'm also totally happy.
Anybody
with this.
against it?
No, I'm not against it.
No.
Then we are done here, gentlemen.
I think we're good. Yeah, if anybody speaks up,
hang
I know
our hats
Oliver's
on
just
that
laughing.
at the end of the day.
Oliver and Kevin have some bullshit fuck up the show
I
accord.
still have no idea what Oliver's talking about.
We're gonna shut this thing down, and they're gonna be like, it was exactly this list.
Yes.
This exact. This is like,
Pull out a little fucking notes.
There you go.
Take papers out of their pockets. I also
they played all the games, and these were what they decided.
I also like the idea that Oliver and Kevin had never spoken, and Oliver was just sowing shit of it like, yeah, Kevin and I have a deal. All right, let's lock it in,
Stick
everybody.
a fork in it.
It is done. Game of the Year 2019. Your game of the year, the best game to come out in 2019 is Outer Wilds. Number 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Number 3, Resident Evil 2 remake? 2019. Number 4, Control. And number 5, Slay the Spire. Honorable mentions to Apex Legends.
I'm alright with it.
We did it, gang, and it only took 10 straight hours.
We fucking did it.
I think that's a
we're
record.
Gonna blow it, and we almost did several times.
Yeah, almost. You all thought we were gonna get like bogged down for 10 hours. It's the arguments. Joke's on you, suckers. We planned that from the start.
Yeah, everyone throw away your strips.
It's time, guys. Well done,
We
everyone.
figured out this list way before the show. You guys fucking got
you
played.
guys just got
Fuck yeah.
Played.
Suckers.
Can we do a full review?
Full review.
Yeah,
of all
let's
this.
look at all of our categories.
Let's start at the top. Well, we'll start at Game of the Year, which we just saw. Game of the Year, congratulations to Outer Wilds. Best Story, congratulations to Jedi Fallen Order. Runners-up, Outer Wilds and Walking Dead Season 4. Best Looking / Style, congratulations to Resident Evil 2, Outer Wilds, and Control. Best Moment / Set Piece, congratulations to Jedi Fallen Order, specifically the Order 66 part. Walking Dead Season 4, specifically Clem on the Train, and Control, specifically the Ashtray Maze. Best New Character, congratulations to Pavardi from The Outer Worlds, Ati from Control, and Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses. And Best Music, congratulations to Outer Wilds, runners-up Cadence of Hyrule, and Death Stranding.
Woo!
Yay!
Outer Wilds, like fucking
Y'all should play it.
I think that is one of the best game answers we've
Let's restart this whole thing. Thanks everyone for joining us.
We weren't recording.
No,
son of a bitch.
Okay, guys, we got to read it up from the top. That was a good finish, though. We'll keep that same finale.
Take 2.
Good dress rehearsal.
Thanks so much for
First one's
joining
always
us
the hardest.
for 10 straight hours of Game of the Year. We kept this one on the tracks, more or less. You can see where it loses. Everyone gets so heated during Game of the Year, and especially when people are more drunk, you can see where it.
Oh, here it goes.
Stop it, Matt.
Yeah.
You're editorializing.
I am. Thanks for joining us. I am gonna hit the BRB screen. I think maybe we're sticking around for Jackbox. I'm gonna talk to the folks. We'll see what's up. We might stick around for Jackbox games. I'll do a test of the room. We have been sitting here for 10 straight hours, which fucking sucks ass. But we'll do some talking and. Everyone's saying no. I don't know. I'm gonna hit the BRB screen, some music, and we'll see.
If we don't see you, we'll see you.
We'll see in just a second. If we don't, regardless if we see or not, Talking Reckless is a video game podcast.
Yes.
You can.
That is on the internet. You can find it such places as iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, anywhere fine podcasts are vended near you. This is our Game of the Year show for the Talking Reckless podcast. But we do 51 other shows a year, every week. come and join us for some of those. Not usually this many people, but we talk about video games.
Or usually about 10% of the length.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, 5% of length. We also do a D&D podcast called Rolling Reckless, which Max joined us for the latest session, which will be going soon.
Super fun.
I think that's kind of all I have to say. Well,
As we do at the this is kind of the end of our year, quote unquote.
That's right. The real new year starts now.
Big thank you to Matthew Eads, who puts all this shit together and does all the hard work and does absolutely.
Absolutely.
Everybody can put together the rig that we got in here now and all the hard work that gets put into this stuff.
Don't listen to them. They volunteer their time, and I make a little bit of money from this, so don't listen to these crazy people.
And also a small one for Kev, who always has absolutely significantly smaller.
Never gets Slay the Spire to number 1.
He's got us.
And I'm going to say it too. If you guys enjoy what you're hearing from the regular podcast, all the stuff on Patreon, everything, consider supporting it if you can. If you can't, that's fantastic. That's fine. We understand that everybody's got to do what they got to do to get by. But if you guys have the ability to support anything, go for it. There's multiple ways of doing it.
We're on patreon.com/talkingrecklesspodcast. And thank you for your support. Max, thank you so much for joining us for
awesome
GOTY 2019, my
Thank
dude.
you guys for having me. It's
Oliver,
always a blast.
Thank you, Max.
For sure.
Fuck you, Oliver.
Okay.
Warren,
I'm going to fist fight Oliver in the front.
good.
Yeah,
I hope you
fight, Warren.
beat the shit out of him.
2.5 years in the
Brando.
making.
Yeah, fucking a lot of a 2-6 and fireball with my name on it. So.
Colin,
Thank you.
Bryce,
Always a pleasure.
Kevin,
No.
and you at home. We'll hit the BRB screen. Maybe we'll see a couple of this from Jackbox. We'll see what happens. But thank you very much for joining us. 2019, heck of a year. I'll see you in a second.
Look for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot 2020.
How's the room feeling?
Yeah.
It is.
I'm down for some Jack West.
I might do a game or two. It is midnight.
I'm here with you guys.
Is it fucking midnight?
Yeah. You guys want to do a couple Jackboxes?
11:54.
Let's do a Jackbox or two.
Whoever don't want it, it's all
Go
good.
push the button or something. Yeah, you go to bed. People
I could get like something or other. Maybe
I-
not much.
I want to stream
Something.
till like 1 at the
If
latest.
you
No,
want to stay on spot.
But we'll axe off 1 at the latest. We'll do like
I'm
an hour
a Warren,
Jackbox.
so I think we're gonna jet.
You guys are mouthing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can only get X amount in Jackbox anyway, so.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We can play.
Rather than to
we can play
tag
a
out.
good push the button. We can play a real good.
Well, I think that's
round
only
of
8, those 2. Oh, no, wait. No, we do have 8 of
I feel like we have pulled the
too
string
far.
as tight
It's
as
too
we
far.
can,
No,
and
that's
I
fair.
don't want to pull it anymore with that game.
That's fair. It's true. Very fair.
But if anyone wants to join us for the Rumble tomorrow,
Yeah, I'll text you. Max and I might. I'll get you.
hell yeah.
Yeah, Monday evening.
We got room for all of you. We don't really, but we do. So
We'll make
feel free to come by.
We don't really, but man.
Make them squeeze.
That's it. Can't left. This was all
Colin and Bryce, you guys stick around?
Stick around.
Yeah, do a Jackbox or two?
I didn't have that much time.
You do a Jackbox or you guys bounce? Totally up to you.
I do work tomorrow.
Oh, it's all good, brother.
And Colin is having a headache.
Maybe we'll just call it.
Yeah, that'll solve it.
Maybe we'll just
Colin needs
call it and not ruin game of the year for once. Like,
Not has a
end
headache.
on a high note.
We're dealing with is having
I
one.
think we'll call it. I'll go
Fucking stuck
I'll
the
put my
landing.
Patreon and everything in the.
Honestly, that went pretty damn good.
That went very well. Congrats! Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes, everyone, good work.
Hell of a
Hold
game
it
of the
together,
year.
emotional
Oh, yeah.
stuff to check.
Very
We
excellent.
always stick
Uh,
We never once
Man.
stuck the land.
We always get lifted.
Always.
Yeah, I don't know. Always, and I don't know if stick the landing is also.
Occasionally, maybe
Yeah, stick the landing is completely
once
off.
in a blue moon. I think this is like the first landing we've semi-stuck, and it wasn't even a real stick. Adderall sweeps.
Everyone did very well.
Yeah, 4 of 6. 4 of 6 categories. Did you hurt any other ones? No, I mean, it was in the top in 4 of 6 categories.
Oh, okay.
Six,
Well,
yeah.
it's 1-1 and game of the year. So, yeah, it's pretty well.
It's not investing character.
I thought.
No, that's Outer Worlds. Oh.
Yeah.
I did. I
Easily.
thought that was from.
Easily mixed up.
Outer Worlds.
All right, quiet for 1 second. I'm just gonna tell.
Yeah.
Quiet on set.
Go ahead.
Hey, gang. So after talking with the folks, we decided 10 hours too long. Too long. We're gonna call it a night here. But thank you very, very much for joining us. Hell of a year 2019. We'll see you soon for more video games. Thanks again, everybody. Goodbye.
Wait a minute. Did you unmute the wrong thing?
No. Did I
There's
mute the
media-
wrong thing?
I think you unmuted Media Source.
No, Mike's
You got it. You got it.
I
Never
got
mind.
it.
I'm
I
crazy.
got it. Bye, everybody. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys, for watching.
Bye.